to make an official missing persons here. Since I've talked to so many officers, everybody she knows, her friends, family, none of them has seen her face or talked to her in over a month.
What's your concern?
That he killed her.
This is Kim, a daughter who's been searching for her mother for weeks. She knocked on every door, called every hospital, begged every officer she could find, but no one has seen her mother, Martha Robin, since midsummer. And today, Kim has brought the police back one last time because deep down she knows something is very wrong.
She asked me to report her missing last week.
I saw that
She
call.
convinced somebody to report her missing.
You want to take all your stuff off?
Oh, we have the dog? Do you see him?
Inside, everything appears untouched.
Ask the police! Somebody's been here, because the bell's taken in.
Oh, he's been here. The question is what he did to her. Not a single pair of her shoes anywhere around here.
If I were you, I'm not telling you how to feel, but this would be a relief. She's not here, but it doesn't look like there's any sign of distress or, all of her stuff's not thrown around.
No signs of a struggle, no forced entry, just a quiet, lifeless home. To the officers, it's one more welfare check in a long week. But to Kim, it's the moment she's dreaded most. Because if her mother isn't here, then where is she? Akron, Ohio. It's the kind of place where most people know their neighbors, where routine feels safe, and where nothing truly shocking ever seems to happen. But for 62-year-old Martha Robin Freitag, life had never really been peaceful. Martha lived alone in a small single-story home on the east side of town. On paper it was hers, the house in her name, the bills paid, the dog named Sammy always waiting by the door. But in reality, she shared the space with a man named David Callahan, her on-again, off-again boyfriend of nearly 16 years. Their relationship had always been rocky. Police knew the address. Neighbors often heard shouting, and friends quietly wondered how long it would take before something truly bad happened. Martha had battled mental health challenges for years, including schizophrenia, and at times she drifted in and out of hospital. David used that instability to his advantage. He convinced outsiders that Martha was unpredictable, unreliable, and often confused. So when she stopped answering calls, it was easy for him to shrug and say she'd gone off somewhere again. But those who knew her best, especially her daughter Kim, knew that wasn't Martha's pattern. Yes, she struggled. Yes, she could disappear for a few days, but never for weeks. Never without telling anyone, and certainly not without her medication or her beloved dog left behind. Kim and her mother had always shared a complicated bond, scarred by years of tension with David in the picture. He resented Kim, called her meddlesome, said she filled Martha's head with paranoia. But Kim knew her mother was afraid of him. She remembered the late-night phone calls, her mother's whispering voice saying, "He's angry again." And then one night, those calls just stopped. So Kim went to the police, again and again, pleading for them to take her mother's disappearance seriously. At first, they didn't. Officers believed Martha had chosen to cut off contact, maybe gone off her medication, maybe just wanted distance. But as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the silence grew heavier.
I don't know if
Do you
he's...
have a key to the house?
No.
Does anybody have a key?
No.
Because that's a problem. We've been out here. We were out here earlier. There's no mail. The trash was taken out. The neighbor said there's a lady that lives there by herself. The guy that was going to the yard. He said the guy doesn't live here anymore.
Well, I've watched him walk out yesterday. No, he shouldn't be.
Okay.
There was a big dispute over this house.
But the issue is we were pounding on the door earlier and no one answered. And we didn't have enough
Right.
to kick the door in and go look for her. But
Well, it's been long enough. He should not be here. She owns this property. If I need to break in here with you guys here, and if you think she'll press charges on me, that's fine. I want to know what happened to her. She's not going to press charges on me. That's not the
and
problem.
she has a mental illness.
Yes, she does.
And is
But
she
she
taking her,
is.
do you know if she's taking her meds?
No, I don't know. And now he's got her phone, back minutes on it or whatever, and he can use Facebook from it, but get on her account, and he can send messages, but nobody can answer the phone. Can't hear her voice though. I mean,
What would you like to do today, I guess?
I'd like to get in there and see if, because he was selling her stuff on the front
So
lawn.
let me ask you this. Is it schizophrenia?
Yes.
Does anybody have, power of attorney over her or anything
No.
like that?
And down at CSS, they said the last what is it, release of information stuff she did for me was in 2016. So that was too long ago.
So they can't give you any information.
No. But the social worker did sit there right in front of me, call every single hospital there was. I went down to Summit County Jail and asked if she was there. Every hospital. No, that was last week I went to Summit County Jail.
No, yesterday when they called all the hospitals.
No, that was last week too. I went down there because yesterday when I went down there, they wouldn't speak to me at all. But she's not angry at all these people, everybody she knows. My ex-babysitter, she's saying these messages, which I know are from him, saying that she is with Jehovah's Witnesses and whatnot. I know a mutual witness that she says too. She absolutely all communication stopped whatsoever.
What's your concern?
That he killed her.
When she begged officers to check the house, she hoped to find a clue, a note, a suitcase, something to prove her mother had simply walked away. But that's not what she found. The lights were off, the bed unmade, her mother's purse on the counter. Everything frozen in time, except for one chilling detail. The trash outside hadn't been taken out in weeks. In small towns, disappearances can blur into rumors. Some say she ran away. Others say she relapsed. But what really happened to Martha Robin would soon prove that this was no missing person case at all. It was the beginning of a nightmare buried in her own backyard. It's the first week of September 2018, and Kim's desperation is reaching its breaking point. Her mother has been missing for nearly 2 months. Every night she drives past the house, hoping to see the lights on, but the windows stay dark, the curtains unmoved, and the yard overgrown. She can't shake the feeling that Martha never left. So, once again, Kim calls the police and insists they check the property. This time, the officers agree.
You don't have a key to her place? What was that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, earlier the air conditioner was on, but now it's not.
Akron Police!
Their body cams record as they approach the quiet house.
Akron Police! Somebody's been here because the bell's taken in.
Oh, he's been here. The question is what he did to her. Not a single pair of her shoes anywhere around here.
If I were you, I'm not telling you how to feel, but this would be a relief. She's not here, but it doesn't look like there's any sign of distress or, all of her stuff's not thrown around.
First sign of distress, really, is the fact that there's no Pepsi in that refrigerator.
So that means she hasn't been staying?
No, she has not been here. I'm telling you, he has done something to her. I know it.
They leave that day with no answers. But Kim doesn't stop. A week later, police return. This time because something new has appeared in the driveway, a truck that wasn't there before.
How you doing? Is Martha here?
She's probably at her boyfriend's house.
What's your name, bud?
David.
David Callahan? All right, come on down here for me. Just have a seat if you would. Why do you think she's at her boyfriend's house?
Oh, that's where she stays most of the time.
Where's that at?
I don't know. I don't even know who it is, really.
Are you the only one here?
Me and the dog. Yeah.
You and the dog?
She's here maybe a couple times a week anymore. We've actually been split up for a year. We've been in separate bedrooms for the last year.
Let me get your social real quick.
She's schizophrenic. She's been on and off her medication. I don't know how many times. Everything's top secret. I guess her and her daughter's fighting again.
604 to computer. Well, that's part of the reason we're out here, because no one in her family's talked to her since July.
I don't know how. I know she's texted her.
No, she hasn't.
Times. She has another phone besides that. It's nice.
Well, who are you getting texts from?
Huh?
Who are you getting texts from?
Her? She has a. I see her very randomly here. The house is in her name. We got the house 8 years ago.
Right.
I'm making arrangements to move off slow but sure. I just don't have the money.
Right.
I'm trying to. Like I said, I know she's seeing somebody else. I've dated.
What's his name?
I don't even know. I've never met him.
Where does he live at?
I don't know. I have no idea.
What does he live in Akron?
I would think so.
You would think so, but you don't know.
No, I don't.
Is she in Ohio?
Yeah, as far as I know, yes.
When's the last time you talked to her?
I don't probably, say 5-6 days ago, maybe.
Where was that at?
I was here.
After that visit, Kim tells the detectives something chilling. Her mother's social media accounts have suddenly become active. Messages are being sent, but the words, the phrasing, the way she types, it's all wrong. Someone's pretending to be Martha.
There's messages yesterday. A message was sent to her brother saying, oh, her phone can get messages, no calls though. It won't load minutes.
Okay.
So I was sending her messages from her mother's phone saying, this is your daughter. I want to know where you're at. Oh, I'm at the Kingdom Hall in Kent with friends. I said, okay, stay there. I'm coming right now. Oh, I'm not there. You don't know where I am. Well, you just said you were there. Where are you? Oh, I'm eating now. Then there's a post on the Messenger. All of her, the way she types is completely different.
It's enough to convince detectives they've been played. And all signs point back to David. When they confront him again, his story changes over and over.
So you have no idea what this boyfriend's name is?
No.
You have no idea where he lives?
No, I've never met him.
Does she get Social Security?
Yeah.
Who's cashing her checks?
She handles her.
Okay, well, who's cashing her checks?
Car signal 37 not verified, 166 north.
So you don't cash her checks?
District 1.
You don't cash her Social Security checks?
No, she doesn't get a national check.
What'd she
Pretty
get?
sure it's like mom.
You have access to her accounts? You haven't been using her accounts, have you?
She pays the house note, which is it's only $250. I pay the utilities, and we split taxes when they come in. Because my sister just put it in her name.
You just told him that you split utilities.
Well, basically, it depends on how much utilities are, whatever happens.
So if she hasn't been here, how is she giving you half the money?
For the signal 37, two females on scene.
She's here randomly
No
a couple times
passcode.
a week. I mean, she's
District
staying
1.
with whoever he is. You know, I don't. It's not an issue with us. Like I said, we've been in separate bedrooms for the last year. You know, just
815.
we've been together for 15, 16 years now. Started having problems last year. Just trying to be adult about it, you know, and split.
So she decided to move out, but she's...
No, she's not moved out.
When's the last time she lived here?
She still lives here.
When was the last time she stayed here?
I don't know. I want to say 5 or 6 days ago. But I've seen it one time. What's today? Friday? It was Monday or Tuesday.
Whose truck is this?
It's my buddy's truck.
By the end of that week, the unease around the house grows unbearable. Neighbors start to talk about strange smells at night, the sight of smoke drifting from the backyard. And when one neighbor tells police about a fire that burned for 2 days straight in mid-August, the officers know it's time to dig deeper.
We had a fire pit back there of some sort.
Right.
But, you know, I didn't even know she was missing until a few days ago.
Okay.
I talked to some policeman named McConnell.
Okay,
Gave him information about what he said.
Okay.
And
I mean, had you noticed any activity by anybody back there in the backyard recently?
just the guy who lived there.
What was he doing?
In the middle of the night was burning things because I could smell it. And it wasn't unusual because they had fire pit all the time.
When was the last time you saw it, you heard it smelling burning
The
something?
last time I saw her was August 6th.
Right.
And like 2 or 3 days later, we spent 2 days burning something back there. I thought it was a lot closer to the house because I noticed that I could smell the fire.
Okay.
And there was one day in the middle of the heat wave, I came walking down the street, and as soon as I hit that empty lot next door, she also owned that.
Yeah.
The horrible stench coming from everywhere. And I thought, it's not even a trash day, so,
Yeah, that was, how long ago was that?
middle of August.
The camera shakes as the flashlight beam catches something in the dirt. A piece of fabric, charred black, buried halfway in the soil. That's when the realization hits. Martha never left the property. She's been here all along. What they find confirms the unthinkable.
Gentlemen?
Check on.
You tell me.
Well, here's the deal. Highly suspicious. Seems like a body part, but we didn't want to dig it out anymore till you guys got here.
Yeah.
I think, all of us would want it dug out a little bit more before you guys can say.
41.
Yeah, let's check. Was it dug out when you guys got here?
That guy.
What made him, did he say what made him start digging?
Yeah, he gave the whole story to the other officer and us. But she got an anonymous text saying if this guy who you guys have arrested recently, that if he wanted to get rid of somebody, he would bury it back here by the fence.
Oh.
So she came back and saw this loose dirt, some ash.
And they say
that guy to come over and help her.
And they say this gentleman is already arrested.
Yeah, that's what both of those two people are telling.
All right. This is the wife.
Missing person that they think it is. And that guy's arrested was a suspect in that.
Was this her husband? Did they say?
I don't know if they were husband wife.
Because I know she had a protection order against her.
Okay, copy.
Okay. He was staying here.
Yeah.
She went missing. He was staying here.
They've been on and off. I've been out here a couple times where she had a protection order, but it goes back and forth because then she invites him back over and stuff like that. So, let me go talk to these guys real quick, and then we'll let you know what.
Yeah, just let's go.
Find a person back there.
Well, we don't know yet. Okay, so we're not saying yes and we're not saying no. Okay, we don't know.
Have you been on scenes like this before? How do you not know? I can't wait to know.
Listen, well, we don't want to. What we're saying is we don't want to contaminate anything. If it is, we're going to work slow right now and make sure if any evidence is there that we don't ruin it. Okay, we want to give the best chance of somebody.
Are the crime scene people on their way?
Yeah, well, our sergeant's back there talking to EMS, and we'll get everything going. All right, and I know it's your mom, right? So I mean, we'll let you guys know, and then we can get you people to talk to as well. Like I said, with victim assistance, they are phenomenal. They deal with stuff like this, and they'll talk to you, and they'll help you out if it is. Okay.
Can you tell if it's her?
Not now. No. I don't even think they don't even have the person back there that's going to be digging it up yet. So right now it's a time game, and we gotta wait and see. Just play the waiting game.
While investigators wait for DNA confirmation, they already know who their prime suspect is. Inside the station, David Callahan sits alone in an interrogation room. A grey-walled box with nothing but a table, 2 chairs, and a camera pointed directly at him. At first, the detectives keep it casual.
So, Robin, were you guys like boyfriend, girlfriend?
Yeah, we've been together since 2002.
Okay, a long time. It is a long time.
I mean, we planned on getting married 2 years ago, and just started arguing over little stuff. She's schizophrenic.
Okay.
She goes on and off her medication. It's like one of them things. I don't know if you've ever dealt with schizophrenics.
Well, through work.
Once they get something set in their mind, that's how it is. And, I would have to leave numerous times, just to diffuse the situation.
She was diagnosed and had a doctor and everything?
Yeah, she was on disability long before I ever met her.
Oh, okay.
2002.
Did she go to like CSS or anything, or?
Not as much as she probably should.
Okay.
I know she was years ago. Now I think it's every few months.
Okay. So when was the last time you actually talked to her?
Just beginning of last month.
August?
I want to say, yeah.
Beginning of August, do you think?
3rd or 4th.
Do you remember where that was?
I was at the house.
Okay. So,
I mean, she told me she was going to Florida for a couple weeks. I wasn't home. I mean, she called me. I was working that day. I mean, I work very limited, maybe a couple days a month.
What kind of work do you do?
I help a plumber.
Okay.
The plumbers and everything. Like I said, so
I wish I could do plumbing.
Couple days a month.
He paints himself as the patient boyfriend who just couldn't keep up. But every word he speaks raises another red flag. He says he last saw her in early August, that she went to Florida to see her dying father. Then he says she came back. Then she was dating someone new. By the 5th version of his story, even he can't remember which lie he told first.
She had a restraining order against you? A TPO
Yeah,
or a
they-
CPO?
It's a temporary one.
TPO?
But it lasted like 6 months, I think.
Did you get arrested? Because you...
No, and here's the thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
explain that.
she's called the cops on me a half a dozen times, and I've never raised a hand to her. She's never had a scratch on her. Any report you would read will tell you the same thing. You know, she gets mad and I leave. She thinks I'm out humping everything with a pulse out there that's female. You know, that's just, why she originally got mad at me. You know, she just want to argue all the time, and I just felt, leaving for a day or two at a time, would just calm everything down, and it normally did. I mean, we've always worked things out, but I don't understand why she's not back around. I really don't. They said she didn't go to Florida. I'm sick.
Well, who said that?
Her daughter.
Oh, okay.
I believe she's relapsed on, back to smoke crack again. Because, I found a paraphernalia at the house. Tomorrow's her birthday. I tried, 3 or 4 times over the last couple of years to get her the 3-day evaluation or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
The police would come out, the paramedics. She'd be standing on the porch, screaming at them, screaming at me. They tell me she don't fit the criteria for the evaluation. Well, what does?
It's gotta be homicidal.
So she have to stab me in my sleep or do something, really crazy?
Yeah.
And they say, well, she's an adult, we can't take her medication, so why don't you leave?
Though it did sound like her and Kim had some problems too.
Absolutely. They would go months on end without speaking to each other. It was at one point, Robin didn't even have a phone number to talk to her mom and dad or her for periods of time.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely true. I sensed they had some hard times now and then, and it sounded like she communicated with her a lot through her Facebook Messenger.
David freezes. He doesn't answer. Detectives shift strategy. They push paperwork across the table, a money order receipt for Martha's mortgage, signed and dated weeks after she disappeared.
There's some pieces missing to your story, Dave. And this, why we had you write this out, is the key. So, because that's your handwriting. And that's just that you just wrote your sister's name to me.
I brought her back.
The problem, Dave. The problem is this is August. And as you know, that is your girlfriend, the love of your life, Robin's handwriting.
I said August. That was last month.
That is September, where you paid the rent. So we can keep up this farce that Robin is still around. Correct?
Okay, I've done this. I've done this numerous times for her.
Well, you told me earlier you've never done it.
So
you've never asked me if I've gotten a money order for her.
He did ask you this.
I did ask you if you ever made the payment. Yeah.
So Dave,
I did make the payment.
Here's
I went
the
and got the money order and gave it back to her.
Here's the question. Here's the
You were
question.
saying you didn't even know how much it was.
Here's the question.
You were saying you didn't even know how much it cost.
You did say. Are you a heartless, no good bastard? Are you a heartless,
you never asked me if I went and did
bastard?
that. Okay?
He did ask you.
If I made the payment to my sister, I never made the payment to my sister. I walked down the Speedway and got this for Robin. I've done it for numerous times.
That's not what happened, Dave.
Okay?
You paid it, so we keep up this mirage that Robin is still around. And the answer is, do you want to be a heartless bastard? Or do you want some clothes? You want people to claw on with their lives?
I'm telling you what I did.
Tell us what you did.
You're not telling us what you did.
Tell us what you really did.
That's what I did. Because for whatever reason, she didn't like walking down there or whatever from time to time. And I walked down there and got the money order at Speedway. Okay, they're from Speedway. I know where it's from.
Dave, that is complete bullshit, dude.
No. Okay.
That is complete bullshit. You said you'd never done that. You did that to keep up the farce that Robin is still alive.
I never made the payment to my sister.
You did. That's your handwriting.
His breathing changes, slow at first, then shallow. Huckle. He tries to laugh it off, claiming he was just helping her pay bills, that she asked him to. But the officers don't buy it. They've already pulled surveillance footage from the store where the money order was purchased. It's him on camera, alone. Detectives press harder, circling him like sharks. They mention the backyard fire, the smell, the neighbor who saw smoke for 2 nights straight, the charred soil that's now sealed in evidence bags. David leans forward, hands on his head.
Oh, you tell us what's going on.
You tell us what's going on, Dave, so we know you're not a heartless bastard, and I promise you can smoke all you want, all right?
Not all you want. Not all you want.
Well, get it off your chest, Dave. You feel better.
You guys feel a little bit better already, just knowing that you're going to make that decision.
I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean for it to end up like that.
No, it's not a very...
I didn't. I'm not a vicious person like that.
It's not a very respectful way for a person to end up.
I know it's not. I got scared, man. I'm really scared.
All right.
Just... Oh, God, man.
I understand being scared, no doubt about that. So what was it, Dave? An argument or something, or what?
She called the police on me again for no reason. I mean, really no reason at all. And I just snapped, man. Snap.
He tells them that on a humid night in early August, he and Martha were arguing in the bedroom. She'd accused him of cheating again and threatened to call the police. He says he lost control, grabbed the half of an old axe handle she kept beside the bed, and struck her again and again until she fell silent.
Because we had argued the day before, and I had left just to try and keep the peace. She just kept accusing me of cheating on her, and I wasn't doing it. And then she just...
The day before, and then the day she called the cops on you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I don't even know what the argument was even about. I don't even know what it was about.
All right.
I didn't mean to do this or I didn't, man. I love Robin.
I believe that. 16 years is a long time. Why did you just...
What happened, Dave?
Oh, God, man.
You just got scared, that's why you put her in the fire pit? And...
I dug it out.
Okay.
I didn't burn her up.
What happened, Dave? What happened between you and Robin?
She just kept yelling at me and get in my face. And I hit her. She had...
Where were you guys at?
It was upstairs.
In the bedroom or in the hallway right there?
In the bedroom.
And you said you hit her?
Yeah.
Did you hit her with your fist or was it something else?
She had just like half an axe handle or something beside the bed. She had it there for a long time, just thinking to protect herself. I don't know, just snap. I don't know why.
So you struck her with the half an axe handle?
Yeah, I don't even know how many times.
Okay. After you struck her,
I choked her.
Choked?
It was over within 2 minutes.
Did you use something to choke her or did you use your hands?
It's a piece of... I got so scared I knew she was gone. I got a piece of rope. Would stick on it and try to make sure she was dead. God.
The room goes completely still. You can hear the hum of the fluorescent light above them.
What happened after Robin was dead?
I took her out back and I dug it out. I don't know, a couple feet. And I threw her down in there and covered her back up.
The confession is enough. David Callahan is arrested on the spot for murder, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. By the time the medical examiner confirms the DNA as Martha Robin, every piece of his story has fallen apart. What began as a missing person search has become one of Akron's most disturbing homicide cases. and a chilling reminder of how easily a victim's voice can be silenced behind closed doors. Martha had even filed for a restraining order once, begging officers to protect her.
Hi, what's going on?
Huh? Did you call us? Yes, I did. Okay.
What's going on?
I'm going to reinstate something that happened 14 months ago. Statute of limitation, I think, is 10 years, right? Is it not?
Wait.
10 years is 10 years for statute of limitations. They know downtown about it. Some people already know about it.
Okay.
I called 911 that night, but 2 nights before I called 911, and he didn't come out because he was acting like a madman, right? And then the third night, I called again after it was already from 1 o'clock on. His acts, okay? And then I got a restraining order against him. And then I don't know. What are you doing over there?
I'm talking to you.
Hey, why are you over there like that?
Because I want to be.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to the guy downtown.
Okay.
But over time, like so many victims of domestic control, she began to believe the lies he fed her, that she was safe with him. And that's what made this crime so cruel. David didn't kill a strained, he killed the one person who trusted him the most. Detectives sat across from him, silent, as he finished his story. When he was done, one of them finally spoke.
Hey, just to let you know, they talked to the prosecutor. But right now you're going to be charged with murder, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence.
What began as a missing person call from a desperate daughter ended with the discovery of a secret buried just steps from her mother's door. For weeks, Kim pleaded with officers to search again, and when they finally did, they uncovered the truth that had been hiding in plain sight. Martha never left her home. She had been there all along, silenced by the man who couldn't stand to let her go. Evil doesn't always hide in the dark. Sometimes it sits across the dinner table, pretending to care. Martha's story is a reminder that silence can be deadly, and that sometimes the people we fear the least are the ones we should fear the most. If you found this case disturbing, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, so more stories like Martha's are never forgotten.
He yelled something like, "Oh my God," or something like that. And there was no evidence of any breathing or anything, and I was like, I'm pretty sure she's dead.
The trembling voice belonged to Scott Bozier, the landlord, polite, shaken, and certain of one thing. Whatever was behind that bathroom door had been there too long. Minutes after this call, patrol cars rolled toward a quiet Waynesfield apartment.
That evening, and she was in the shower then. Okay. And where nobody saw her. Nobody talked to her? I came in today, we were remodeling that one. Okay, yeah. I heard the water running, and I looked underneath the floor, and water was running out. Running out?
That should have had nothing more serious than a leaky pipe, and instead carries the weight of a town's first homicide in decades.
Hey, Brent. Can we talk to you for a few minutes? Yes, sir. All right. Let's, if you don't mind, if we come over here, and we're going to be in the shade so the sun isn't beating down on our heads.
Get my dad over here, too?
It's up to you. Yeah.
This is Brent Williams, and the woman behind that door is his wife, Erin Mulcahy. By the time police arrived, Erin had been dead for days.
And so she's in here? Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Her body lay in the shower, the water still pouring over her, as if the apartment itself refused to go quiet. Brent told officers he'd moved out just days earlier, that he only came back to collect a few things.
She just said, "Get your stuff and go."
I did. My dad came with me.
Okay.
Got my clothes.
Pulled
out.
Okay.
Let her stay that night.
Okay. All right. And did she say anything to you when you left, or nothing at all?
No. I just said I was very quiet about it. My dad was with me. He'll vouch that I got my clothes, didn't say a word to her.
Sure.
And got out.
Okay.
His father later came with a spare key when the landlord couldn't reach Brent.
The guy owns the place calls me.
Okay.
He said that he had to get in there.
Okay.
So I said, well, would I be able to tell you okay? He said, as long as you guys are here and go in with me.
Sure.
He told me about the water running, so he shut it off.
Okay. Before you guys made entry, he shut the water off? Okay.
So when I go in there, the bathroom doors are closed. I beat on it.
Mm-hmm.
I opened it up, and I thought I seen her laying on the floor there through the glass door.
Okay.
And then Jim called you guys.
At first glance, it looked like a tragic accident. A seizure, maybe alcohol, maybe fate. But Waynesfield, Ohio hadn't seen a homicide in nearly 60 years, and this one was about to rewrite that record. Because the water wasn't the only thing that had been running. So was the clock, counting down to a secret that would soon surface and tear their story apart. Did Brent really leave before Erin's final moments, or was he the one who stopped the clock? It starts just a few days before Erin's death. The tension inside that apartment had been building for weeks. Arguments, long silences, and one final move that would change everything.
Yeah, there hasn't been any other than verbal argument. That's all.
Been an argument.
No, there hasn't been an argument. Okay.
We argue. You're here. That's why you're here before something happens.
Okay. Well, I can't. I can't stay here all night and wait until. So what's the plan then?
What's get my stuff? And I'm going out.
Okay. Are you doing that now or? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
Brent said he was leaving. He packed his things and walked out, claiming he was done with the chaos. But sometimes walking away doesn't mean you're gone. Sometimes it just means you're waiting for the right moment to come back. Neighbors remember hearing the shower running that weekend. No one thought much of it. It was just background noise, until it wasn't. Because on July 8th, when the landlord finally opened Erin's door, the air inside was heavy and wet. The water had been running for days, and behind that thin shower curtain was the truth. Waynesfield wasn't ready to face. What happened in those missing hours between Brent leaving and Erin's final moments? Was this the accident everyone wanted to believe, or something far colder hiding behind that constant flow of water? The morning of July 8th began with a call no one wanted to make.
901, wait, 901. 901, go ahead.
Are you responding to 200 Karen? They just made entry in the bathroom. They're not sure if this is a 16 or not.
Affirm. I just cleared this 57. I'm en route right now. It's going to be the name of the female.
Erin, go ahead.
Okay.
Erin's neighbors had noticed something strange, water flooding into an adjacent unit, the faint hum of a shower that never stopped.
So when you entered the apartment, explain how you went ahead and made entry on that.
I know I grabbed the knob just, make sure it was locked. The doorknob was locked, so I would unlock it, and it still didn't open. Bathroom door was closed, so I know we beat on the door, yelled her name, no reply.
At first, they thought she'd left it on by mistake, but by the second day, the smell coming from inside made it clear. Something wasn't right. When the landlord arrived, he tried calling Erin. No answer. Then he tried Brent, the man who'd just moved out a few days earlier. But Brent didn't pick up either. So the landlord reached out to Brent's father, who came with a spare key.
So we went in, and that's when we seen her in the shower then. Which as soon as he seen her, he yelled something like, "Oh my God," or something like that. And there was no evidence of any breathing or anything, and I was like, I'm pretty sure she's dead.
The bathroom door was shut. Steam still lingered in the air. When it opened, the truth was immediate. Erin was lying motionless in the shower, water still pouring over her, the drain long clogged, the floor flooded. Rigor mortis had already set in. At first glance, there were no bruises, no blood, no signs of a struggle. To the untrained eye, it looked like a tragic accident. A woman alone, perhaps drinking, perhaps dizzy, slipping in the shower.
I'm not sure what it is. I've got to get...
Actually, you know what? I do know what that is. That's a nose hair from me.
Oh, okay.
But detectives noticed details that didn't fit. The untouched towels, the position of her body, and the water still running, as if someone wanted to make sure no one heard what happened.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Rigor mortis has already set in. Okay, I'll have you guys step out here because I'm going to have to get some pictures and things like that. So she's in the shower. Rigor's set in. Last time anybody saw her was a few days ago. Still getting some additional information on all that. Brent was here, her ex-boyfriend or whatever was here a couple days ago.
Query.
And
What's your footprint on there?
no, that might be one of the guys coming from one of the landlords. They were coming in and redoing the apartment next door. They heard water running. And when Brent was here, supposedly the other day, he said that he heard water running, but they said there was water all the way. It was flooded all the way out here. So
We're not even going to perch because
right, yeah, exactly. So
we'll preserve the scene for you. And
okay, all right. Well, I appreciate that.
footprints too. So my
Right.
footprints right there.
Yeah, your footprints right here. I'm going to talk to these guys and make sure they came in and shut the water off, but they're the ones that found her, so I would presume that.
The guesswork ended at the autopsy table. Cause of death: strangulation. No slip, no seizure. Force. With that, detectives reclassified the case to homicide and rebuilt the timeline from data, not memories. They started with the phones. Erin's activity stops on July 5th. No calls, no texts, no app pings after that evening. Whatever happened likely happened then. Brent's messages to her that night go unanswered. His account to officers that he'd moved out days earlier and only returned briefly to grab checks now sits against a hard digital cutoff.
When's the last time that you actually talked to Erin?
Sunday.
Sunday?
I moved out Sunday.
You moved out on Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
Was it kind of a heated argument or just she just said get your stuff and
Nope,
go?
I
And
did.
did you guys have any conversation after you hadn't talked to her at all since
Text
Sunday?
her. Text her. Yeah, you want to read the text?
You're
more than welcome.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, that's fine.
Really don't bother me.
Okay.
Remember, man, I said don't volunteer, answer questions, okay?
Okay.
Detectives widened the circle. Erin had recent activity on a dating app before she died. The man she met cooperated immediately, provided DNA, and was cleared.
This is why I wanted to come and talk to you real quick. And like I said, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. But throughout the investigation, I am extremely confident that you are the last guy that she spoke with. I mean, anybody. Anybody that she talked with. Okay.
You know, she was a bad alcoholic, I'm sure you know.
Right.
She drank every day, and that's how I met her, through Alcoholics Anonymous. I've been clean for 27 years, and I met her there, and I'd take her to a few meetings at times. I tried to help her. You know, and last time I seen her, I was trying to think, man, it's been at least probably a couple of years, but I've talked to her regularly.
Let me ask you this. What about the guy that she confided into you about, the guy from Tiffin?
Right. She had said that some guy, she had sex with some dude. She felt a little bad, but she went ahead and had sex, met some guy on...
Plenty of Fish?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm probably 90% sure that's the one. Does that make me a suspect?
It does not make you a suspect.
I mean, it don't bother me because,
No, you're not a suspect.
Well, I mean, if I am, so be it, because I know better.
Right. You know. But like I said, I want to be honest with you. I want you to be honest with me.
I want to be honest with you. I want to help you find the truth.
Right.
If somebody killed her.
As well as what I want to find the truth. And I think that we're going to find out what happened. What happened or didn't happen. But I need some more answers. Because, you know, I just...
Right.
The way
absolutely.
I need some more answers. And like I said... I need you to shed some light on some stuff.
Yeah.
On her with me.
Yeah. Man, it's just too weird.
Right.
For her to tell me what that stuff and then to turn up dead, it just too bizarrely ironic, you know. And yeah, as a friend I owe to, I'm gonna miss her. But we talked a lot.
Right.
You know, even when she was drinking or whatever.
That detour mattered. It ruled out an easy scapegoat and kept the lens on the marriage. Brent agreed to talk. He offered a voluntary DNA swab without argument, but grew tense when the request turned to his phone.
One other thing that I would like to do, and here again, this is just to eliminate you from any wrongdoing, is I was wondering if you would be willing to give a voluntary DNA sample. Like
For my
swab,
mom.
swab,
I'm willing to do that.
Yeah, okay, all right, perfectly. Now the other thing that we would like to have, if it's okay with you, is your cell phone, just to go through it to make sure there wasn't any calls or anything.
He did that.
Yeah, I already showed you my cell phone.
Why-
It's in there, Lenny's girl.
Well, I saw the text message, right?
I saw the
That's
text
all I
message. So are you saying that you really don't want to give up your phone at this time then?
Well, I don't want to give my phone. I have no reason to give up my phone. You've seen all the information I get from my phone.
Okay.
He allowed photos of texts, yet resisted handing over the device. Hesitation isn't proof, but it's a pause investigators don't ignore. They documented it and kept digging. The break came from a new voice, a woman who met Brent after Erin's death.
How long has this guy been?
He wanted to meet up with me last weekend, and I kept telling him I had to work.
Okay.
Well, then he kept texting me and calling me, so I finally got back a hold of him, and then we were just texting. So we met yesterday over at Shawnee Reed Road, but he started talking about his wife dying. I'm like, okay, I thought maybe it happened, a while ago. But then the more and more talk, I said, so how long ago did it happen? Oh, it's not been 2 weeks yet. Well, my first reaction is, are you serious? I mean, if my husband died, and I'm a widow, I wouldn't be worried about being on these chat lines and doing this whatever, So we're just making comments. I was like, talking about the world. I was just playing along with him, just with them, like, how you text on people and stuff.
Right.
And he said something about her dying. But the way he said it was weird as hell.
What did he say?
We were just sitting there, and he was talking about, he's got to get this on in his life. And I said, well, when's the thing you got to do tomorrow about, putting her in the mausoleum? And he said, well, it's tomorrow sometime. I got to call her dad, Jim. I think that's what he said. I said, we don't have to rush this. Even though I wasn't trying to be, I was just talking. I said, we don't have to rush this. I said, because you need to grieve for your dead wife. I said, most people are. He goes, well, I was done, I already grieved. He goes, I didn't even care before she died. I've been okay with it. He's like, I'm ready to move on. And then he's all happy about getting a check in the mail for her death. The way he said it, he was like, weird. He said, well, I'm waiting for a check in the mail. I said, for what? And he said, life insurance. And I said, well, you took one? He's like, yeah, I took one out on her. He's like, I knew she was going to die. I said, well,
Did he say how much?
$25,000?
In her account, Brent spoke less like a widower and more like a man already planning next steps, and he mentioned a life insurance policy taken out on Erin weeks before she died. $25,000. The number wasn't large, but the timing was loud. Paperwork confirmed it existed and that it was recent. Motive doesn't solve a case, but it sharpens the edges of a timeline. Detectives secured a warrant for Brent's device. No confession lived inside, but nothing there contradicted the emerging pattern. A marriage in collapse, a phone that goes dark on July 5th, a staged-looking scene built around water and silence, and money set to move if Erin didn't live. They layered the evidence, the forensic finding of strangulation, the digital silence, the post-death behavior, the insurance policy, and the cleared third party. Individually, each piece could be explained away. Together, they formed a corridor that led in one direction. When the file closed on this phase, the question wasn't whether a crime happened. It was who had the access, the opportunity, and a reason that predated the discovery. Detectives believed they had their answer, and they were ready to test it in court. On paper, Brent Williams looked ordinary. Steady routines, small-town roots, a marriage that had frayed long before the bathroom door swung open. Up close, detectives noted a pattern. Withdraw, control, distance. The kind that often hides in plain sight until stress and opportunity collide. There was also family insulation. Brent's father often fielded calls, opened doors, and buffered interactions.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Super. Are you looking for Brent?
Living the dream. We are. Is he here?
No, he's in line.
Okay.
Is he?
Okay.
Okay. Is there any way you could get a hold of him or have him come back down here? Because I'd like to talk to him again, if that's okay, real quick.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to be real quick. He's in line.
No, I understand that.
Why are you wanting to talk to him again?
Right. There's just a few more things that we'd like to talk to him about from, Saturday night when we talked and whatnot.
Okay, you got me on edge now.
Okay.
You got his mother on edge.
Okay.
You better come across with something, buddy, because I'm thinking my son's going to jail, and you better help me out on this one. And I'm damn serious.
Okay. He's not going to jail.
Okay. You sure of that?
No, he's not going to jail.
Okay. Then I'm going to call him.
Yeah, no.
Is he going to be charged with something?
No.
Is he going to be charged with something?
No, we're still trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
Get this figured out, okay? Because there are some loopholes that we're trying to get those loopholes filled up. That's what we're trying to do.
I'm about ready to pass out here, buddy.
I am
Because
too.
you're working me up. And I know you're not doing this intentionally and all this.
Then
How am I working you up, sir?
Because my son is in on this and you're asking more questions about him.
And she's
Wouldn't you be
dead.
concerned about him?
Right.
You wouldn't be concerned about your son? Wouldn't you?
we've been a mess.
Protective, understandable. But to detectives, it looked like a human shield. One more layer between Brent and direct scrutiny.
You guys are pissing me off.
I'm not.
You both give me the idea. Because I stood there. Saturday night up there. No big deal. We're just crossing our teeth. And now you come back.
That's all we're doing, though. That's.
I don't understand why you're upset.
I do. You're acting like you're going to try and put my son in jail. That's what I'm thinking. Tell me if I'm wrong.
You're not. You're wrong. I am not. I have no intention on putting your son in jail, but
I'm scared to death you are.
We have an obligation to figure out what took place as well. And there's a couple more questions that we have for him. And the reason we came here is because this is where he is living.
That's right.
If he wasn't living here, we would go to where he lives. We wouldn't come here and bother you guys.
I'm going to ask another question. Does Brent have anything to worry about?
I already asked them that. They said they are not taking him to jail.
We are not
Absolutely
taking
not.
him to jail.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
And are you arresting him?
And right now, they're not
No,
going to
no, arresting would mean taking to jail,
Right
so.
now, there's going to be no charges, he said.
Right.
Until there could be charges.
I'm not going to say, I can't, look, there are questions that I can't answer right now, and that's why we are trying to get everything taken care of, okay? And we would rather, like I told you on Saturday, we want to cross our T's and dot our I's and eliminate everybody that could potentially be involved with this and make sure we come to the conclusion. So when this is all said and done, we know what happened and why it happened. That is our goal here, and that is do justice for you guys, it's do justice for Brent, and it's do justice for Erin and her family. That's what we are trying, that's why we are trying to do everything and do everything the right way. If we were doing this, we wouldn't be standing here right now, okay? We wouldn't be standing here right now, but we want to do this as thorough as we can. We want to make sure that we're doing everything the right way. So down the road, whether it be a month down the road, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, 5 years down the road, people can't come back and start questioning us that we didn't do our investigation the right way.
Again, not evidence of guilt on its own, but as with the running water and the silent phone, it fits. When investigators stacked these traits, access, opportunity, pre-death policy, post-death demeanor, and selective cooperation, Brent no longer read as a bystander to tragedy. He read as a center of gravity in a story that began before July 5th and ended in a shower that never turned itself off.
So how you doing this morning?
Great.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Hey, I know that last night I went up to Bear Barrel, and I know yesterday was kind of a long day. And
Yeah.
So, like you and I had talked, we figured we'd meet this morning, a little bit easier to talk and things like that. So, as long as that's okay with you.
That's fine. Today's
still-
fine. Today's fine. I've got my. I just had
Is this being recorded?
Do what?
Is this being recorded? Is this conversation being recorded?
All conversations I have are recorded. Yeah.
So, okay.
Why weren't we told that?
Because
it's not an obligation to let you
secrets from them?
No, we're not keeping anything from you guys.
Okay. We're getting legal counsel. Here is William.
Okay.
Here's his number.
You're
Calling
scaring
him
us,
today.
man.
I'm calling him today.
Okay. We've got his number. We don't need his
Yeah,
number.
you didn't tell us. This is it. I'm done.
You're scaring us.
Yeah, you're scaring us. When I saw his phone, I knew.
Actually, I was checking the time. I was actually checking the time.
I mean, no, that's fine. This is how we do everything.
You should have told us.
Okay. We're not obligated to let you know. I mean,
Been nice if you would have said that.
Just like if you get pulled over on the side of the road, you're being recorded always, the cruiser cam and everything else.
We're getting legal counsel, all three of us,
That's absolutely not a problem.
today.
No problem.
That's not a problem.
You should have let us know that.
Okay.
No, you're not being fair.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
You're not being
You
fair.
want to stay? I'm gonna call Pete real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Why are you calling Pete? Hey,
Yes, sir.
Why are you calling Pete?
Calling.
Who you calling?
I'm calling the other detective.
Why?
He's got some paperwork to give to Brent real quick. Okay.
I'm not gonna fill it out with that legal.
No. That's
No, it's not about filling it out.
not a problem. We'll be right back.
The autopsy confirming strangulation, Erin's phone going dark on July 5th, and the recent $25,000 policy, detectives secured warrants, arrested Brent Williams, and presented the case.
Hey, Con,
What in
take it easy. He doesn't know about signing for your arrested too, all right?
What the hell?
Don't care what he's got. You're better. I'll tell you something right now, sir. All right, go.
He did not do this.
Correct.
He did not.
Yeah.
First of all, you're arresting me when I didn't do nothing wrong. That's fine. Let's go. Let's go to jail.
He was later convicted of murder and sentenced to 15 years to life. In the end, the water never lied. It ran, steady and indifferent, while everything around it tried to pass for ordinary. An unlocked door, untouched towels, a phone that simply stopped speaking. Accidents leave different echoes. This scene echoed intent. Small towns teach you to ignore background noise, fans, showers, neighbors. But it was just the shower that held the truth. Time was being masked, not wasted. A marriage in collapse, a device gone silent, and a policy written weeks too soon. None of it was loud alone. Together, it was a pattern you could hear even under running water. What single detail flipped this story for you? From tragedy to homicide? Comment your guess before the reveal. And if you want more cases where the small sounds matter, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one.
On the evening of September 17, 2023, the quiet suburban town of Romoville, Illinois, became the scene of a deeply disturbing crime that shattered the sense of safety within the community. What began as a routine welfare check by local authorities quickly escalated into the discovery of a shocking act of violence that sent ripples of fear and disbelief throughout the nation.
Hey, I got a TV knocked over and a coffee table knocked over.
Nothing in this room.
I'm saying the lights are off. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
And no, there's lights on in the back room. You can see it through that second.
Let's go in the backyard real quick.
This one's open.
See if you can speak in the back. There's a window, right?
Yeah, 2 windows.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go answer that. This window open. No.
Oh God.
I need more units here. Hold this. Yep. I got 2 dead dogs, TV's knocked over, and a coffee table knocked over in the front room.
Inside a modest home on Concord Avenue, 31-year-old Zoraida Bartolome, her husband Alberto Roland, and their 2 young sons, 10-year-old Adriel and 7-year-old Diego, were found lifeless. It was an unimaginable tragedy that would leave investigators and the public searching for answers. What initially seemed to be an inexplicable event soon unraveled into a complex web of deception, manipulation, and premeditated harm.
Units from 367. I'm waiting for at least one more to make entry. From a position of cover, please. I don't know if anybody's in there or not.
You got another door right here.
Hey, you know what? Hey, one of you guys holding this one. One of you guys holding the front.
There were no other side doors, right?
No, not that I know of. Hey, Ron.
Yep.
Here's what we're gonna do, okay? I'm gonna boot it. We're gonna go nice and slow, all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys stay right on me?
Yep. I'm going over your right shoulder.
You watch our 6 as we move through the house, okay? Corey, come up here, cover this door, this window. Fuck, this lights is dead, god damn it.
Christian, yes.
Door's open. Alright. Hold on.
Dispatch, call me a little 315. 133 traffic.
Make it a very good driver, please. Alright, Ron. Alright. Yep. I'm with you, Ron. Romeo, please, anybody here? Move on. Romeo, please, anybody here?
The investigation revealed a chilling psychological game at play, one that involved an intricate scheme of lies, mind control, and emotional coercion. The deeper authorities dug, the more horrifying the truth became. This was not a random crime. It was the calculated result of an insidious plot fueled by jealousy, paranoia, and manipulation. The unsettling sequence of events began when concerned family members noticed something was off. Calls and text messages to Zoraida and Alberto went unanswered for hours, an unusual and troubling sign. Zoraida's mother and sister grew increasingly anxious as the silence stretched on, knowing that the couple was always quick to respond. Even more alarming was the fact that Alberto had failed to show up for his shift at work, a highly uncharacteristic absence that further fueled their growing fear. Unable to shake their dread, the family contacted the Romeoville Police Department, urging them to check on the household.
I'm calling for my daughter, Zoraida Bartolome. She lives on Concord Avenue, Romeoville, Illinois, and we haven't heard from her or her husband or her children during the whole day. No answering the phone. If somebody can go by the house and check them, because the husband, they called from his work that he didn't show up to work. And he never, he's always at work.
Okay, give me 1 second. Did you last hear from your daughter?
All day today, I haven't heard from her.
But when did you last talk to her? Yeah,
last night.
Last night? Okay. Okay, I'm going to send officers over to check on her, and somebody will give you a call back, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. That's what we're here for.
Officers arrived at the family's residence on Concord Avenue that evening, expecting to conduct a simple wellness check. But as they approached the house, an unsettling silence engulfed the property. The home, usually bustling with life, was eerily still. The absence of movement inside the house sent a shiver down their spines. Peering through the windows, officers immediately noticed signs of disorder. Furniture was overturned, a television lay broken on the floor, and various objects were scattered in disarray. Something was very wrong. The officers decided to enter the home, not knowing that what they were about to witness would haunt them forever. Inside, they were met with an unspeakable tragedy. 2 dogs, the family's beloved pets, lay motionless near the entryway, a grim prelude to the scene that awaited them. As they ventured deeper into the house, the true extent of what had occurred became painfully clear. The scene was one of unimaginable sadness and despair. Alberto was found in the hallway, his body showing multiple wounds, with his phone lying just inches from his hand, as if he had been trying to call for help in his final moments. Investigators later determined that he had been harmed first, leaving him no time to react or defend himself. The manner in which he was targeted suggested that whoever was responsible had planned this act meticulously, ensuring that he would not be able to escape or fight back. In the bedroom, Zoraida's lifeless body was discovered, her hands covering her face, an instinctive reaction to an unimaginable horror. The position of her body, along with forensic analysis, indicated that she had witnessed what had happened to her husband before she, too, became a victim. The psychological toll of her final moments was unfathomable. She had been a mother, a wife, a daughter, and a sister, and in those moments, she had been powerless to protect herself or her children. But perhaps the most heartbreaking discovery was that of the children, Adriel and Diego. The 2 young boys had been found in their beds, seemingly unaware of what had transpired. Their room, which should have been a place of warmth, safety, and laughter, was now a heartbreaking testament to an unthinkable act. Their toys lay untouched, their blankets still neatly covering their bodies as if they had been peacefully asleep, unaware of the danger lurking in their home. The innocence of had been shattered in an instant, leaving the community reeling with grief. Shell casings littered the floor, over 24 in total. The calculated nature of the act, the lack of forced entry, and the deliberate attempt to stage the scene as a burglary quickly led investigators to dismiss the notion of a random home invasion. This was a targeted attack, one that had been executed with precision and without hesitation. But who would want this family harmed, and why?
Preliminary investigation leads police to believe this happened between 9 p.m. on Saturday and 5 a.m. on Sunday morning.
We are not asking anybody to shelter in place. We are not actively looking for anybody in the area. But we do always ask our residents to have a good sense of self-awareness and to report anything that they might see as suspicious.
As authorities began their investigation, they uncovered a chilling pattern of threats leading up to the incident. Zoraida had confided in a co-worker that she had been receiving ominous messages in the weeks before her passing. Messages warning her to stay away from someone. These messages were anonymous, filled with cryptic wording, and conveyed a sense of imminent danger. The co-worker had urged her to report them, but she had downplayed their severity, never imagining that they would escalate into something so devastating. Alberto, too, had received a terrifying message just days before the incident. An anonymous sender warned him, "This will be the last time I say this, Alberto. This situation will cost you your family." The wording was deliberate, as if it had been designed to instill fear and compliance. He had shared his concerns with a close friend, questioning whether these were just empty threats or something more sinister. He had no idea that his life and the lives of his family were already in grave danger. It was now clear the family had been marked. But the most pressing question remained. Who was behind these threats, and what had driven them to such extremes? With this information, investigators turned their focus to Nathaniel "Nate" Huey Jr., a local security company owner. He had a past that was more complicated than it seemed.
What can you tell us?
I know about a relationship which stemmed from here.
Mm-hmm. So when you guys, are you married?
Well, yeah, but not paper. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but yes, but we're not didn't go to court. They're official.
So church married, but not paper married?
Yeah.
Okay.
Despite running a business focused on protection, Nate was legally barred from owning firearms due to a prior conviction. His background, which included legal troubles and allegations of controlling behavior, painted a picture of a man with a complex and troubling history. When questioned by police, Nate admitted to having an affair with Zoraida, but denied any involvement in the incident. He described her as his angel and insisted he would never have harmed her. However, his demeanor was inconsistent, shifting from defensiveness to visible agitation whenever investigators pressed him on his whereabouts during the night of the crime.
I gotta ask, did you have anything to do with this? Okay. I have to ask, and you know that your number is going to be in her phone, and we're going to find your text messages, and we're going to find that stuff, and I want to get a surprise later on that you guys are fighting, or that there was something going on between you two, or just three of you that I don't know about, Nothing like that.
Nobody was threatening anybody. We weren't fighting. Really, she's like an angel, you know what I'm saying? A sweet girl, so
I don't know. I mean, did she ever tell you I'm worried, I'm scared of my husband, or I'm worried, I'm scared of a neighbor?
He didn't seem threatening. The reason we were really taking everything really slow is because he just seemed like he was just a pretty nice, easygoing guy, but just kind of one of those things of she's not happy, so it's, but he was good. He was good to the kids and shit, so sort of like that.
When you say you guys were gonna move forward, so were you guys actively looking to try to get a place together or something?
Yeah, but it was slow, just kind of it's only a couple of months kind of thing. So
yeah,
just I don't know. don't know how to explain it.
No, I get it.
A woman could explain it better.
Yeah, no, I get it.
His statements lacked clarity, and his attempt to provide an alibi fell apart under scrutiny. But his story quickly unraveled. His alibi was weak, and surveillance footage placed his vehicle near the crime scene during the estimated time of the events. Further investigation into his phone records showed suspicious activity, including deleted messages and multiple calls made in the early hours of the morning.
What we're asking for is consent to get the text messages off your phone between you and her, to Snapchat or whatever it is between you, so we have both sides of it. We're trying to eliminate you as a suspect, but...
It's on the computer already. You can get it on the computer.
No, we have to take the phone, we plug it in, we take it out, and then we give your phone back.
Oh, I didn't have anything in there.
That's even better. No, I believe you, but, well, yeah, I mean, just let me see it. And why I asked is the bosses called right away. They were like, well, they're like, we'd like to see if we can get the stuff, you know, from your end back that way, and see if maybe maybe your husband got wind of it and pulled it off or something. So we just want to take a look. I mean, on our side of it, we can get a search warrant, you know, to go through the phone, and just take a little longer. But on the fastest way would be consent, pull it off, and give your phone back. Than it would be to, and again, I explained to you earlier, I'm trying to eliminate you.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a deceased girl, and her last fling or boyfriend or whatever is you, and I'm sure that you know, if you're an outsider looking in, who's your suspect? I mean, and so I'd like to eliminate that. I'd like to say, well, no, we looked through stuff. He didn't have nothing to do with it. We're done with it.
I guess I'd rather you guys just go on the computer.
I agree with you, but again, there's it would take us, you know, a couple hours to pull information off the phone that could eliminate you as a suspect, like right from the start. It's up to you.
It feels like you're pretty suspect enough, man. Well, how about this? How about I come see you guys later today after work or something like that? Because I got fucking other shit in there that I don't necessarily want you to be like looking at. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. But again,
I promise you, I don't care what you look at.
No, it's not like fucking like freak shit like that or anything like that.
One last thing, before we drive out of the parking lot, will you give us consent to look in your Denali just for like blood or something?
There's no blood in my car. I haven't done anything.
I believe you,
believe
but
you.
it's
100% believe you.
so now we're at the point where we just got to check off everything off our list so that there's, you know, like I said, dude, you're in a relationship with her, and that's what we're going off of, okay?
Yeah.
And we want to be as thorough as possible, and part of being thorough is that we just want to take a look inside because.
That's just the route that I would rather go, guys. I don't mean any disrespect. I promise you that. I'm just saying, like, I think it's just better if, at this point, not speak to a lawyer. This is insane.
It's crazy. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
It's not, I don't doubt that you're going to do your homework. And I want you to do your homework. But I'm just telling you, like, yeah. Like, you just had this fucking 4 people who have been fucking hurt. Yeah. So, I want to make sure that I'm not fucking, like, I don't know, walking myself into some shit. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Like, it's like, it's kind of alarming just because you guys have come back so many times now. I know.
Trust me, we didn't want to do that. The bosses told us to do it. We weren't looking forward to doing that. We just unfortunately, got stuck doing it. So we're going to go. Like I said, you got my card. If you could really stop by today, we'll help out a lot. It'll get you off our list so we can be done with that.
I'll bring the fucking car. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, you can swab and shit and everything. You'll see.
I believe in that.
There's nothing in my car.
I believe you, dude.
Like, I want to.
I believe you, man.
Yeah.
We want to solve this more than anybody, dude.
No, but I mean, it's not even, really, I'm not even, not saying, I need you to say I believe you. I'm just telling you.
As authorities examined his past, they discovered something even more alarming. He was not acting alone. There was another individual who had been playing a far more sinister role in orchestrating the events that led to this tragedy. Investigators initially suspected that Nathaniel Nate Huey Jr. had acted alone. However, as they delved deeper, they uncovered an even more sinister presence behind the entire ordeal. Hermelinda Palomo, Nate's fiancée.
Hello. Hi, Hermelinda. My name is Detective Garcia.
Hello.
From the Romeo Police Department. This is Detective Wagner.
Hello.
I know you know what's going on and why you were here. Okay? I know you were talking on the phone with your husband right now.
Husband
Okay.
or boyfriend?
It's just a boyfriend.
Okay. Does he live here with you? How long have you guys been together?
2015.
Okay. We're investigating a murder. Okay?
I murdered somebody.
So, we have in our possession some phones, okay? And in those phones, we're doing what it's called a phone dump. So what happens is if anybody's talking on a text app that you can download, for example, Text Now, we can retrieve those messages.
Okay.
We have retrieved those messages, all right? We've read them. They're pretty clear that somebody's pretty upset at the victim, okay? Is there any way that these text messages are going to come back to you? Or your name or your phone or anything associated with that? Okay.
So we'd like to speak with you without him present. Are you okay with that? I'm not saying go in the house, but we can talk with you out over here. If you're okay with that, we can go over by my car if you'd like.
Let me get my jacket.
Okay.
For over a year, Hermelinda had manipulated Nate into believing he was the target of an international crime syndicate. Through a network of fake phone numbers, anonymous messages, and fabricated online personas, she convinced him that dangerous individuals were surveilling him, and that Zoraida was a traitor who had put him in danger. She meticulously planted the seed of paranoia in his mind, feeding him lies until he felt he had no other option but to act.
Why are you scared of him?
Oh, I'm not scared. Well,
Okay. Why are you scared right now?
because when I called him, because I was scared, I didn't know where he was.
Okay.
He said, someone's following me.
Okay.
So I called. And then I heard him say, why are you following me? Do you want to search the car? And then someone said to him, there are messages from you, and it's because her husband found out you were having an affair. And I didn't know that
You didn't know what?
he was having an affair.
Okay.
When did you find that out? Right now?
Just right now.
Okay. When's the last time that he had an affair? Because I know this is not the first time.
No, it's not.
Okay. When's the last time you knew he had an affair?
When we first started dating.
2015?
2015 to maybe 17.
You believe he's had multiple or many affairs while you two have been together?
I was hoping that they were done because I was hoping to trust, because you have to.
When you find out about him, like what happens? You guys get into arguments? Do you talk to the women that he's having affairs with?
No, for what?
I don't know.
No.
Leave your man alone kind of thing?
No, I'm too old for that.
I'm-
I'm 50 years old. There's no reason for me to, no. And quite honestly, it's not the female's fault. It's his fault.
Right.
So no.
Text message records and social media interactions revealed a calculated effort by Hermelinda to maintain complete control over Nate's perception of reality.
What about a man by the name of Alberto Rolón?
Have I ever heard of a man?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Have you ever met Zoraida?
No.
You seen a picture of her?
No.
So that name comes up to you because you saw it.
Well, really, that name stuck in my head because that night I thought, are you cheating on me?
Was the person calling?
They're calling in.
Okay.
More than once. And it was a long name. And I thought it was Bartholomew, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long name, but
So when we asked your husband if he knew this person, Zoraida, he said, I've never heard that name. Why would he be lying to us?
I don't know. I don't know.
Should I believe him?
I don't know. Please don't tell him I said
We're not
this.
going to tell him anything.
I thought that you guys said to him he was having an affair. Somebody said he's having an affair.
Okay. Well, that is probably very accurate.
You guys are here for something else and I'm making it about cheating and it's not.
Well, I mean, it could be. I mean...
So are you guys saying that you're trying to find out if he killed the husband?
We're trying to find out who was involved. So we're talking to everyone. We're talking to you. We're talking to him. We're talking to other people because, as you may be aware, people lie to the police, right? So we don't know who's lying.
Gotcha.
What I would like to ask you is, on either Friday or Saturday night, did he go out with his friends?
No.
Did he work?
Friday night? No, he was with me.
Saturday night?
No.
She convinced him that he was constantly being watched, that Zoraida had betrayed him, and that if he did not act soon, his own life would be in jeopardy. Investigators later discovered that she had gone as far as using burner phones to send threatening messages to Nate, pretending to be members of a fictitious criminal organization.
So...
Did you go anywhere Saturday night then?
No, I was home. Well, it wasn't night, it was afternoon. No, I did not. I was here. I understand this is not about an affair, but for me, it's about an affair. I don't know what day you guys are looking at, but for me, he was home all weekend. Thursday to today. He goes to work, he comes home.
Do you think he's capable of taking someone's life?
No. I'm sorry. I know.
How sure are you of that?
You know, Nate is a lot of things, but what he tries to do is to calm people down and stop them from fighting. So for him to just actually fight with someone, no.
Remember when we first met you at the door, I told you that we had some text messages?
Yes.
With phone numbers, and we're going to find out who those phone numbers belong to. Is there any reason why those numbers would come back to you?
Are you sure?
Are those my numbers?
I don't know that yet. We're looking into it, but what I'm saying is there any reason why they would come back to you?
No.
As the walls closed in, Nate and Hermelinda realized they could no longer evade capture. Instead of surrendering, they chose to flee. They were tracked to Oklahoma, where they were seen purchasing burner phones, hair dye, and other items intended to alter their appearance. The evidence indicated that they were making desperate attempts to avoid detection. Authorities quickly closed in on them, leading to a dramatic high-speed pursuit on Interstate 44. Nate, behind the wheel, recklessly maneuvered through traffic in a last-ditch effort to escape. The chase ended in a catastrophic crash, rendering their vehicle disabled. As law enforcement officers approached, they made a devastating discovery. Nate and Hermelinda had taken drastic actions to avoid capture. Even though the primary suspects were no longer a threat, investigators continued unraveling the deeply unsettling layers of the case. What they found was nothing short of haunting. Hermelinda's psychological manipulation had turned Nate into a pawn in her elaborate scheme. She fabricated threats, created an illusion of danger, and led him to believe that eliminating Zoraida and her family was his only chance for survival. Hermelinda's influence over Nate was profound, revealing how deep psychological control can lead to devastating consequences. She orchestrated events from the shadows, weaponizing paranoia and deception to manipulate him into carrying out actions he might never have considered on his own. This tragic case stands as a grim reminder of how dangerous psychological coercion can be when left unchecked. The Romeoville case left a deep scar on the community. A family was lost, not to random violence, but to a meticulously planned web of lies and deceit. The heartbreak lingers, and for the town of Romeoville, the impact of this tragedy will never be forgotten. This case serves as a powerful reminder of how psychological manipulation can drive individuals to commit unthinkable acts. It underscores the importance of recognizing signs of control and coercion before they escalate into tragedy. Communities must remain vigilant, supporting those who may be vulnerable to such influences and ensuring that justice prevails. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth crime investigations and analysis. Your support helps us continue to bring these important stories to light. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.
If their family members are watching this right now, what do you say to them? Look into the camera right now, and if they're watching, what do you say to them?
I'm sorry for their loss, and I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive me. And I'm so sorry, and I never wanted this to happen.
In the serene, picturesque town of Jupiter, Florida, the rhythm of daily life was about to be upended in the most unimaginable way. The quiet coastal community was accustomed to peaceful evenings, with its sun-kissed shores and friendly residents. For Austin Harif, a 19-year-old sophomore at Florida State University, the night of August 15, 2016, started like any other.
How's it going, guys? Nothing in life worth having is easy. Remember that, guys. You remember that? You remember that?
Known for his easygoing demeanor, Austin was a typical college student, good-natured, sociable, and always looking to enjoy life. Yet behind this persona, something darker was brewing in Austin's mind. That evening, Austin casually told his family he was going to hang out with friends, but there was a strange tension in the air.
Young man beating up a woman across the street.
Okay, are they outside or in a house?
It's in a garage.
Okay, can you tell if he has any weapons?
I think he had a knife, but I'm not positive.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to perform Hound Dog by Elvis Esquire Presley. You know, the king. All right, thank you very much, and prepare to listen.
His words seemed off, as though he were hiding something. His mother, speaking about the hours before the incident, later recalled that Austin was acting oddly, even though nothing overtly alarming had happened. After a few hours with no word from him, his family grew concerned.
You called 911 later on that night, and you said that he was missing.
It was not like him to disappear without so much as a text. A simple, "I'm okay," was something they had come to expect. But on this night, that reassurance was missing. By the time the sun had set, the Harif family's worst nightmare was beginning to unfold.
Hello, bros. It's Austy Frosty, man, and today I want to talk about personal trainers and why you should be cautious when following a personal trainer. First off, a personal trainer doesn't have the same body as you. That's the first point, okay? Personal trainers are themselves, and they found out what worked for them. They went through the trial and error. They did their research. And a lot of them don't even look good, man. That's the funny part, man. You gotta listen to the personal trainer's advice. But you gotta find your way too, man. You gotta learn for yourself. You can't just hope and pray that someone is just gonna give you all the resources that you need, because it's just not gonna happen, man.
Austin Harif, a 19-year-old former Florida State University student, had been experiencing a downward spiral in his life. Once described as a gentle and well-behaved young man with good grades, Harif's behavior had become increasingly erratic in the weeks leading up to that fateful night.
I'm not a scientist, bro. But I know how stuff works. I mean, you can call me God if you want to. The God of fitness.
His parents, Mina and Wade Harif, had grown concerned about his mental state and were in the process of arranging a mental health evaluation for him.
Well, how's life? It's tough on us, Austin. We're not used to this.
Am I going to be okay?
Yeah, you're gonna be okay.
How's Jupiter?
Are you taking your medicines?
Yeah, I'm taking my medicine.
You need to get a Bible, Austin.
I know. I asked for one.
Do you have one?
Are you getting me a therapist or anything?
Yes, I plan on it.
Little did they know, Their son was on the brink of committing a heinous crime that would leave a community in shock and forever change the lives of those involved. At 9 p.m., as Austin's family began to worry about his whereabouts, an entirely different nightmare was taking place just down the street. John Stevens and his fiancée, Michelle Miskin, were preparing for bed. It was a typical Tuesday night for the couple, who lived in a modest, comfortable home in a quiet neighborhood. They had no reason to suspect that this peaceful evening would be their last. The night was warm, and the sound of crickets and rustling leaves filled the air. But that calm atmosphere was shattered when, at precisely 9 p.m., a neighbor out walking his dog made a disturbing discovery. As he strolled past the Stevens home, he glanced through the bushes and saw what he first thought was a bizarre and grotesque scene. A young man, hunched over a person on the ground, seemingly engaged in some sort of strange behavior. The more the neighbor looked, the more he realized with horror what was happening. Austin Harriff, a figure he recognized from the neighborhood, was literally gnawing on the face of another human being, Michelle Miskin. The sight of it was so shocking that, for a moment, the neighbor froze in disbelief. Was he seeing this right? Was this a nightmare come to life? This was no random attack. This was something far darker. The neighbor instinctively began rushing toward the scene, his heart pounding in his chest. But as he moved closer, Austin suddenly looked up. His eyes were wide, glazed over in a vacant, almost primal manner. His expression lacked any sign of humanity, replaced instead by an eerie emptiness. There was no recognition, no sense of remorse, just an unfeeling stare. A chill ran down the neighbor's spine as he realized the danger he was in. Austin, now completely disconnected from any semblance of rationality, stood up slowly, his body tense and rigid. Without a word, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a knife. It gleamed menacingly in the dim light of the street lamp above them. "Stay back!" the neighbor shouted, trying to retreat, but it was too late. Austin moved with lightning speed, closing the distance between them. The knife came down in a swift, erratic motion. The neighbor instinctively raised his arms to protect himself, but it wasn't enough. He felt the sharp sting of the blade slice across his forearm. Blood poured from the wound, soaking his clothes, but he didn't stop. Every ounce of adrenaline in his body screamed at him to run, to escape before it was too late. "Help! Someone, please!" he yelled, his voice breaking. In his panic, the neighbor staggered backward, trying desperately to find safety. But Austin followed, his footsteps heavy and deliberate. Every time the neighbor thought he had gained distance, Austin would advance again, his eyes never leaving him. The neighbor managed to stumble backward to the corner of the street, where he collapsed into the arms of another neighbor, gasping for breath. He's eating her face," he managed to choke out. His words seemed to make no sense, yet the horror of what he had witnessed was undeniable. The brutal, senseless attack would haunt him for the rest of his life. The 911 call that followed was raw, panicked, and filled with confusion. The neighbor, his voice shaking, barely managed to explain the horror he had just witnessed.
Don't open that. Don't open that.
Fire rescue, what's your address?
Young man beating up a woman across the street.
Okay, are they outside or in a house?
It's in a garage.
Okay, can you tell if he has any weapons?
I think he had a knife, but I'm not positive.
Okay, can you tell if she's injured or he's injured?
Say again?
Are either of them injured? Can you tell from where you are?
Yes, there's a girl laying on the ground. He beat her up. I ran over there. I'm bleeding profusely here at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
All right, can you tell if she's conscious or is she unconscious?
Say again?
Can you tell if she's conscious?
No, it does not appear so, no.
Okay, and what kind of injuries do you have?
I've been stabbed in the back.
With a knife? And where is he? Is he
I think
in the area
in the garage, right across the street from my house.
"There's a man attacking a woman," he cried, barely able to catch his breath. "I don't know him. He's stabbing me." His words were frantic. Each one rushed in an attempt to get help before it was too late.
What did the guy look like? Was he white, black, Hispanic?
He is white.
You know how old he is?
About 25 years old.
And what was he wearing?
Shorts and a t-shirt.
Do you know who he is?
I have no idea.
Does he live at that house, or?
No, he does not.
And you said you definitely saw a knife, and that's what he hit you with in the back?
No, I did not see it, but my wife's looking at my back, and it appears I got punctured.
Yes, Dad. In the neck, in the head, three puncture wounds.
Okay, we got units en route, okay?
Okay.
All right, just call us back if anything changes, all right?
All right, I'm bleeding pretty bad. So
okay, we got an ambulance and everybody en route. Just stay right there and stay calm, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right.
The operator, trained to stay calm in chaotic situations, tried to reassure him, but the terror in the man's voice was impossible to ignore. Stay with me, sir. I need you to tell me exactly what you saw. Is the attacker still there? The operator asked. There was a pause, a long, drawn-out silence, before the neighbor's trembling voice came through again. He's eating her face. Please, hurry, please. The operator's voice grew more urgent as they gathered as much information as possible, but there was little they could do from their end, other than dispatch officers and paramedics to the scene. As the minutes passed, the situation deteriorated further. The sounds of police sirens grew closer, but with each second that passed, the hope of saving Michelle faded. The community, which had once been a tranquil haven, was now grappling with the reality of a crime so violent and unthinkable that it felt like a scene straight out of a horror movie. In the home of John Stevens and Michelle Miskin, the scene was utterly horrific. The initial attack was brutal, but the extent of Michelle's injuries was more gruesome than anyone could have imagined. The marks left by Austin were savage. Her face, once a defining feature of her beauty, had been torn apart, torn open with unnatural force. John, who had tried to protect her, bore the brunt of the attack as well. His body was found not far from Michelle's, and the sheer violence of the assault left no room for survival. The first responders arrived at the scene to find a bloodbath. No attempt at understanding the brutality could have prepared them for the carnage they encountered. Michelle was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, but the injuries were too extensive. The doctors fought desperately to save her, but Michelle succumbed to her injuries hours later. John's death was confirmed almost immediately. Neighbors, friends, and even the police, still in shock, had difficulty processing the violent, random act that had claimed 2 lives. John and Michelle had been pillars of the community, generous, kind, and well-liked by all. They had no enemies. No one could fathom why they were chosen to be the victims of such a horrific crime. The investigation into the horrific murders of John Stevens and Michelle Miskin began immediately after the 911 call was made. What initially seemed like an ordinary case quickly spiraled into something far more sinister. When police arrived at the scene, they found John Stevens' body near the front door, brutally attacked with signs of extreme violence. Michelle Miskin's body was discovered in a nearby room, also showing similar signs of a savage assault. Both victims had been mauled beyond recognition, their injuries so severe that it was unclear at first how they had died. As investigators combed through the crime scene, the initial shock began to give way to more chilling questions. What had driven a young man, seemingly out of nowhere, to commit such a violent and senseless act? The answer came in pieces. Austin Harroff, the 19-year-old suspect, was soon identified as the person responsible for the murders. His location was quickly traced, and he was found near the scene, incoherent and covered in blood, disoriented but seemingly unaware of the magnitude of his actions. When police tried to question Austin, they were met with bizarre responses. He appeared confused and out of touch with reality, with no recollection of the events leading to the deaths of his parents' friends. He had been acting strangely in the days leading up to the murders, withdrawn, erratic, and even reportedly hearing voices. Family members told authorities that Austin had been suffering from mental health issues, but no one could have predicted that it would escalate to such violence. As the investigation unfolded, it was revealed that Austin had been using a combination of drugs, including hallucinogens like flakka, a synthetic stimulant known to cause extreme aggression and delusions in those who take it. However, the defense team later argued that Austin's mental state was significantly compromised by his underlying mental illness, not just drug use. They suggested that he might have been in the midst of a psychotic episode triggered by the drugs, but with an underlying, undiagnosed mental disorder exacerbating the situation. The evidence, including Austin's erratic behavior and incoherent statements to police, suggested a level of mental disturbance that would later become a central element in his defense. Investigators also uncovered disturbing texts and social media posts in the days before the attack, where Austin had expressed feelings of paranoia and the belief that he was being controlled by dark forces. The chilling aspect of this investigation was how Austin seemed to have disconnected from reality entirely, and it raised more questions about his mental health history. Forensic experts confirmed the brutal nature of the crime, stating that the injuries inflicted on the victims were not just random acts of violence, but appeared to be motivated by a deep-seated rage. The mutilation of the bodies was unlike anything seen in typical violent crimes. Investigators were left wondering if Austin had planned this attack or if it was a moment of uncontrollable insanity. They would later have to reconcile Austin's actions with his psychological state, as the line between murder and mental illness became increasingly blurred. The case prompted a wave of local and national attention, as the details of the investigation and the young man's mental health struggles were revealed. For the community of Jupiter, the investigation's conclusion was both heartbreaking and unsettling. How could someone so young, with so much promise, spiral into such violence? The question would linger long after the investigation ended. As Austin was escorted to the police station, his erratic behavior only deepened the mystery. His mind appeared to be miles away, lost in some unknown fog. His family, shocked and heartbroken by what their son had done, began to come forward with more information. They explained that Austin had been battling mental health issues for years, although he had never shown signs of being violent. His mother, in particular, seemed to struggle with understanding what had happened. She explained that just days before the incident, Austin had been unusually withdrawn, but had seemed perfectly normal otherwise. He had no history of criminal behavior, no signs of violence in his past.
You called 911 later on that night, and you said that he was missing.
Well, I guess when he took off the second time, they called me. I don't know when they called me and said, "Is Austin there?" And I said, "No. What happened?" Well, he took off again.
You mentioned on your 911 call that he's acting schizophrenic. Is there any history in your family of schizophrenia on your side of the family? Any sign of mental illness on your side of the family?
I mean, we always teased that my brother was,
But did he ever get treated?
No.
No medicine? What about your son? Did you ever treat him for any?
No.
No? Okay. Also in your 911 call, they asked you if he's on drugs, and you had mentioned that, yes, he has been on drugs, but you don't know if he's been on drugs lately. Do you know what kind of drugs he was on?
I mean, I know he did marijuana.
Okay.
And
did he do an excessive amount, or was it just social, if you could even call it social? Or?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean,
Okay.
he hung out in his room.
Okay.
So
Dad said that about 2 months ago he also found him doing mushrooms. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know if anybody found him doing mushrooms.
Your son, how was he as a kid? I mean, he still is a kid, but was he always happy, joyous,
Yes.
good as far as you could tell? Never got into fights in school? Has he ever been suspended from school or anything? No, nothing. Okay.
Nothing. I mean, it's never really any anger issues. Maybe, Bud and I have our spats and stuff,
Yeah, like
but
any
and he
normal
wants to
kid.
protect me, you
Right.
know.
Sure. Has he ever got physical with Dad, or?
Dad?
Yeah.
No.
No.
But as the police dug deeper into Austin's psychological history, they discovered that he had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and had been struggling with his mental health for years. Was this an act of pure madness, or had Austin been suffering from something more sinister, an external influence or mental disturbance that led him to commit the unimaginable? As the court proceedings began, the defense team argued that Austin Harif was not mentally competent to stand trial, given his history of mental illness. His attorney's case was built on the idea that Austin's actions were driven by delusions. He had believed he was under some kind of supernatural influence. He had no recollection of the attack and was unaware of the damage he had caused. The prosecution, however, had a different view.
Well, family spoke very passionately in that courtroom today of many things. They said they still do not buy it, that Austin Harif was insane despite medical professional expert opinions. They just say the result of that night, that deadly night, was a result of Austin being a drug addict. But a judge made his decision today with support from both the state and defense teams that Austin Harif did meet that state criteria to be considered insane, so he will be bypassing prison and headed for treatment.
I hate you. I hate you with every part of my being.
You both said your son acted strangely for weeks leading up to the murders, and you even set up an appointment for him to be evaluated. You should have done your job better, quicker. You should not be purchasing him knives.
The state had an evaluation of Austin, and the state's own expert opined that he was insane at the time. So I think it does a disservice to those seeking mental health treatment, for those struggling with these issues. It is real and it is powerful. The brain is a powerful organ, and that's what this was about.
And of course, we don't know just how much time he might spend in that mental health institution, but we do know that he would never be released or discharged without staff and medical professionals there deeming him to not be a danger to society, to the public. He would also have to go before a judge before any decisions would be made. Reporting live in Mark County, I'm Megan McRoberts, WPTV News Channel 5.
They painted Austin as someone who had premeditated his actions. They pointed to his behavior before the crime and the gruesome nature of the attack as evidence of malice, not madness. The jury would ultimately be left to decide, was Austin a victim of his mental illness, or was he a cold-blooded killer? The verdict would send shockwaves through the community, and the case would forever be a reminder of the devastating consequences of untreated mental illness. In the wake of the murders, Jupiter was left in shock. The community, so accustomed to tranquility, was now shattered. Neighbors, friends, and family members tried to understand how something so violent and senseless could happen right under their noses. There were endless questions, but no clear answers. How could a young man, once so normal, turn into a killer? How could someone with such a promising future descend into madness? Mental health advocates began to speak out, urging people to be more aware of the signs of mental illness and the importance of seeking help before tragedy strikes. Austin's case was a tragic reminder of how untreated mental disorders could spiral out of control, leading to devastating consequences. For the victims' families, life would never be the same. The Stevens and Miskin families struggled to cope with their unimaginable losses. They would never again see their loved ones, and the haunting images of that night would stay with them forever. The case of Austin Harif remains a tragic reminder of the devastating consequences of untreated mental illness, particularly when it intersects with violence. In the months and years following the horrific attack, the community of Jupiter, Florida, would slowly rebuild, but the scars of that fateful night lingered in the hearts of those who lived through it. The Stevens and Miskin families, forever changed by their losses, would never forget the two innocent lives taken so brutally. Austin Harif's journey through the legal system was long and fraught with complexities. The question of whether he should be held fully accountable for his actions continued to spark intense debate. Was he a victim of his mental illness, or was he simply a young man who lost control? The court's decision to eventually commit him to a mental health facility rather than prison underscored the central theme of this case: the struggle between justice and compassion, between accountability and understanding. For some, the verdict seemed a necessary step in recognizing the depth of Austin's suffering. For others, it felt like a failure to acknowledge the severity of his actions. In the years since the crime, mental health awareness has gained prominence in public discourse, largely as a result of tragedies like this one. The tragic case of Austin Harif brought attention to the importance of early intervention, proper treatment, and stigmatization of mental illness. It highlighted the need for more resources and understanding for individuals facing severe mental health challenges before they spiral into irreversible harm. But no amount of mental health reform could ever undo the tragedy. The Stevens and Miskin families still mourn their loved ones, and the town of Jupiter, once known for its idyllic beaches and quiet streets, will always remember the unspeakable violence that occurred there. For Austin, his future remains uncertain. He may never fully understand what happened that night, but the lives lost can never be forgotten. In the end, this case serves as a chilling example of the fine line between the fragility of the human mind and the irreversible damage it can cause. It is a stark reminder that sometimes the most innocent among us, those who are loved and cherished, can fall victim to forces beyond their control. The journey of Austin Harroff, the families of John Stevens and Michelle Miskin, and the community of Jupiter, Florida, will forever be intertwined in the tragic story of that fateful night, where innocence collided with madness in the most brutal of ways. If you found this case insightful and thought-provoking, please take a moment to like this video to show your support. Share it with friends and family who might be interested in the complexities of criminal cases like this one. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses, real-life case breakdowns, and important stories that deserve to be heard. Your support helps us bring more important topics to light. Thank you for watching.
There's really no reason to say this, sir. So apparently last night she passed away.
Austin 911.
I need EMS.
Tell me exactly what happened.
My friend is staying with me, and I just walked in, and she's laying on the bathroom floor. There's blood all over her face and all on the back of her head.
The caller is Caitlin Cash. The friend is Mariah Mo Wilson, a rising star in pro cycling who landed in Austin for a weekend race and never made it to the start line. Detectives arrive expecting a burglary gone wrong, but the scene talks back.
Austin police!
Do I stop? I don't know what happened. I just walked in on her.
A bike dumped in an alley like a prop, shell casings placed by someone who didn't expect to be seen, and a timeline that keeps circling one name: Colin Strickland, Mo's friend, training partner, and ex. Security cameras pick up a dark SUV gliding through the neighborhood. A doorbell mic records the seconds before everything goes quiet, and phone pings sketch a shadow that follows Mo and Colin from a swim to a bar to a quiet house on Maple Avenue, then vanishes. May 11th, 2022. Austin is hot and quiet. After a training swim, Mo Wilson and Colin Strickland stop at Pool Burger, just a normal end to the day. Near sunset, Colin drops Mo at the Maple Avenue house where she's staying with her friend. The porch light is on. The street is calm. Inside, Mo settles in, a quick shower, getting ready for race weekend. Down the back alley, a dark SUV rolls by, slow and steady, like the driver knows the area. A phone that had been busy all day suddenly goes silent. A door opens, fast steps, a short, sharp moment, and then the house goes still. Colin's phone data shows he's already driving away by this time. When help arrives, the place doesn't look torn apart. No broken door, no big mess. One thing stands out: Mo's expensive race bike is gone. Minutes later, police find it dumped nearby. That tells them this wasn't a real theft. It was meant to look like one. Someone came with a plan, used a small window of time, and left a story they wanted everyone to believe.
Austin 911.
I need EMS.
Tell me exactly what happened.
My friend is staying with me, and I just walked in, and she's laying on the bathroom floor, and I don't know what happened. I can't tell what happened.
Is she awake?
She's not awake. There's blood all over her face and all on the back of her head.
Is she breathing?
No, she's not breathing.
I'm going to tell you how to do chest compressions. Count out loud so I can count with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Good.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Keep going. Good. There's a lot of help coming as fast as they can. Keep going. There might be a police officer coming in soon. That's okay. Don't leave her alone and don't stop.
I hear them.
Okay, that's good. Keep going. Don't leave her alone. They'll come to you. Just keep going.
Austin police!
Do I stop? I don't know what happened. I just walked in on her.
As the first responding patrol officers arrived and emergency medical services, they quickly realized that the victim was deceased, and they pronounced her dead on scene.
10 p.m. Officers arrive at 1708 Maple Avenue. Caitlin Cash is outside, panicked, telling them what she found.
There's a shell casing right here next to my right knee.
There's another one right here. We got 3 shell casings.
Silver medication.
At least.
All right, pause just a second, Mike.
Yeah, I have so. Nobody heard any shots? We don't know how long she's been down? No.
Does your friend have a boyfriend? No! She doesn't live here!
What's her name?
Her name is Mariah. Mariah is her middle name. Her first name is Anna.
You said she's from San Francisco?
Well, she's from Vermont, but she's living in San Francisco.
And she came to visit you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's here for a bike race this weekend.
You know if she's talking to anyone or any friends? I know you say you don't doesn't live here.
I knew she was with her friend Colin. Colin Strickland. I left to go have dinner with my friends, and then I came back. And this is my house.
This is your house?
This is my house. She's staying with me.
Did you see a gun or anything like that in there when you were in
Guys,
there?
there are bullet casings.
When was the last time you saw her? You had
I
eyes on
left
her.
for dinner at 5:30.
So you left dinner at 5:30. What time did you come back?
Right 2 minutes before I called 911.
Mo Wilson is on the floor, blood pooled around her head and torso. Paramedics call it immediately. 3 gunshot wounds. 2 to the head, 1 through the chest that punched clean through and left a divot in the floor. Cerebral spinal fluid leaks onto the tile. The bullet pierced her skull. She died instantly. The scene is tight. No forced entry, no ransacked drawers, nothing taken except that bike. That rules out burglary. This was personal. Officers locate 3 9mm shell casings near the body. One by the detective's knee, another near the doorway. The bathroom is narrow. Whoever fired had to be close, standing in the threshold, blocking any escape. 10:15 p.m. Outside, officers canvass the alley behind Maple Avenue.
That's her bike. Cover, yeah.
So where was the bike?
Where would she keep her bike? I mean, it would be right inside the door.
Is there a bike?
1708.
Anyone? You see a bike? She said she would put it right by the door. No bike. Hey, come here. Somebody might be in here. This might be the bike, okay? Over there. At 432, I located the bike.
They find Mo's $14,000 racing bike tossed into the bushes, still intact. No thief dumps a bike worth that much. This was staged, a red herring to buy time. Detectives pull footage from every camera within 3 blocks. What emerges is a pattern. A black Jeep Grand Cherokee with a bike rack, circling the neighborhood for over an hour before Mo gets home. The license plate is obscured by the rack, but the silhouette is clear. 8:36 p.m. The Jeep is spotted near Maple Avenue just as Colin texts Caitlin he's leaving Mo's place. Then, the doorbell audio. Three pops. A scream cut short, then nothing. The timestamp locks the murder at 8:36 p.m. Minutes later, the same Jeep is captured leaving the area, heading south. May 12, 2022, 9 a.m. Detectives show up at Colin's door to deliver the news. He's in his garage. When they tell him Mo is dead, his face drains.
Colin? Yes. First name? Yes. Do you know Anna? Mo. Anna Mo. Yeah, everybody calls her Mo. Last name is Wilson. Rider, she's a yes. Gravel rider. Yes, I do. There's really no easy way to say this, sir. So apparently last night she passed away. How did? Yeah. Right now it's an open investigation, but it is being investigated as a homicide. Are you okay? Okay.
We went to Deep Eddy yesterday afternoon, and then Burger, and I dropped her at her the apartment she's been staying at. Yeah. Friend Pat.
Colin's shock looks real, but parked in his driveway, a black Jeep Grand Cherokee with a bike rack, same model, same profile as the one on camera. It doesn't belong to him. It's registered to Caitlin Armstrong. his on and off girlfriend.
I didn't have any solid proof to indicate that Colin was the person responsible for this murder. So I told Colin that I wanted his help in investigating this crime, and I wanted to find out who was responsible. I began asking him, more about Mariah, more about their outing.
I'd been in contact with Mo earlier in the day. We were thinking of coordinating a ride. Right. She sent me a photo of her on the bike. Is that Mo? Yeah, that's Mo.
He was able to show me different text messages, the plans that they were making.
Colin walks detectives through his day: swim at Deep Eddy Pool, dinner at Poolburger around 7:45 p.m., dropped Mo off at 8:30 p.m., texted Caitlin at 8:36 p.m. His phone GPS confirms he was driving away from Maple Avenue when Mo was killed. He's cleared. But then, Colin admits something. He and Mo had a month-long romantic relationship in October 2021, right after he and Caitlin broke up. When he got back with Caitlin in November, Mo stayed in the picture, just quieter. Colin changed Mo's name in his phone to hide the contact from Caitlin.
I have it saved as a different name just because I am a little... I got you. His name is Christine.
The name in Colin's phone for Mariah was Christine Wall. He indicated that he does have a girlfriend named Caitlin Armstrong. Caitlin currently lives with him, and she would tend to be jealous.
In the past, Caitlin has looked at my phone.
Basically, that would always start fights.
Exactly.
Like, did she do that with, like, all of the girls that are in your phone, or, like, just with most?
Most of them. She loves me, and she wants to be,
Yeah. Basically, nobody else can have you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has Caitlin ever gotten so mad in the past that, not necessarily thinking that she would do anything, but I mean, has she ever threatened anything, or?
She's always seemed like such a gentle person. Being very disturbing.
The
Jeep is hers.
Okay, so that belongs to her. Okay. Do you ever drive the Outland?
No.
I know for a fact that her vehicle was at that apartment.
I told Colin that Caitlin's Jeep is on camera, that it's in the neighborhood at the time that Mariah had gotten home after he had already dropped her off.
Knowing Caitlin's vehicle is there, what do you think took place?
I know both these people, and I can't imagine. It's just so far beyond the realm of reality that I live in, or I thought. So that's what I'm struggling.
I'm asking you what you think. Is she capable of doing something like that?
I wouldn't be living with a person who I think is capable of doing this. So the answer is no. I don't believe it. I really love her. I just have been not convinced that I want to be like life partners with her. We'd be better business partners and friends. She's had a couple of incidents where she's been like accosted or had people in parking lots feel threatening.
Jealousy, secrets, access to his texts and emails through their shared business accounts. Caitlin knew. Detectives rung Caitlin's name. She has an outstanding warrant, unpaid Botox bill, theft of service. It's minor, but it's enough to bring her in. May 12, 2022, 4 p.m. Officers arrest Caitlin at her home in front of her neighbors.
It sounds like you may have some information, may have witnessed something, so I just wanted to chat with you about some stuff. Are you familiar with what you have going on with that?
No idea.
The detective explains the warrant, then pivots. Did you hear about what happened in the last 24 hours? One of the women in the cycling community passed away. Colin brought your name up.
Can you give me any information on what you're talking about?
As far as the warrant or as far as everything else?
As far as the warrant.
Yeah, so I don't know too much. I guess it's just a theft of service. Usually that's like something like didn't pay for something pretty minor.
Can you tell me what it was that was the theft of service?
I can look. I'm not sure what it is at this point. But because you are here and because you were under arrest for that portion of it, we always have to read Miranda and stuff because I want to talk to you about some other stuff that's unrelated to that. So there's a situation that's going on. Did you hear about what's happened over the past 24 hours?
Colin walked in the house and said one of the women in the cycling community passed away.
Yes. Yeah. It sounds like maybe he went out with this girl the other day. And from what he's saying, that you were a little upset about it.
That is not accurate.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to chat with you because it's a guy. He's gonna say stuff. And so we want to make sure that we get both sides of the story and everything and clear it up. So what were you doing yesterday?
I would like to leave, I think.
Then the detective drops the hammer. Your vehicle was seen next to her house.
Okay, that's totally your choice. And the door's open, you're welcome to leave. But again, that limits us to where we only have one side of the story. And your vehicle was seen next to her house.
I would like to leave if I'm free to leave.
Okay. Is there any explanation as far as why the vehicle would be over there?
I would like to leave if I'm free to leave.
Okay.
She walks, but not before they see her crack. Back at the lab, ballistics tells the rest. The 3 9mm shell casings recovered from the scene match the class of firearm Colin bought for Caitlin in December 2021.
We were able to locate 2 handguns. Those handguns were tested against the fired cartridge cases that I found on scene near the victim. One of the handguns came back as a positive match.
Colin and Caitlin went to the range together to practice. DNA swabs from Mo's bike. Caitlin's DNA is on the handlebars and seat. She touched it. She moved it. She staged the scene. Cell tower data puts Caitlin's phone silent from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on May 11th, the exact window of the murder.
Colin's whereabouts are known for that night, but Caitlin's are not. It appeared as though her device had circled around downtown Austin and then began traveling to East Austin. Caitlin's device, it turns off. This is something that is normally seen when someone is trying to conceal their movements because they are about to commit a crime.
By May 17th, detectives have a murder warrant. But when they go to arrest her, Caitlin is gone.
The only problem was that when they went to pick Caitlin up, no one could find her.
We noticed that her social media shut down. Nobody had heard from her. So we knew, okay, something's up. She might have taken off at that point.
Caitlin sold the Jeep for cash 2 days after the interrogation. She flew to New York under her own name, then vanished.
This video shows Caitlin Armstrong in the waiting area dealing with her cell phone. There appears to be some plastic hanging off this phone. Is this a new cell phone? Is she making plans to leave the area?
Flight records show a ticket to Costa Rica booked under her sister's name. Caitlin landed in San Jose, traveled to Santa Teresa Beach, and disappeared into the surf town's yoga community. 43 days pass. U.S. Marshals post a fake ad. Hostel seeking yoga instructor. Cash, flexible hours. Caitlin responds.
She responded to the ad, but the people waiting for her was law enforcement.
Caitlin Armstrong was captured on June 29th by foreign officials in the Republic of Costa Rica, where she was detained on an immigration violation and deported back to the United States.
She'd had plastic surgery, nose job, brow lift, lip fillers, hair dyed dark. Cost $6,000. But the eyes, same. Cuffs, deportation, Texas. October 11th, 2023. While awaiting trial, Caitlin is transported to a medical appointment. She bolts from a bathroom window and sprints down the street. She makes it 10 minutes before officers tackle her on the pavement. November 2023. The trial lasts 2 weeks. Prosecutors present CCTV of the Jeep circling Maple Avenue, Ring doorbell audio of the murder.
The last thing Mo did on this earth was scream in terror. Those screams are followed by 2 gunshots. And after 4 or 5 seconds silence, Caitlin Armstrong stood over Mo Wilson. And for good measure, the defendant put another bullet right in the heart.
Colin's testimony about the hidden relationship. DNA on Mo's bike. Ballistics matching Caitlin's gun.
There were 3 shell casings covered at the center. Caitlin's gun. The result was show that those test casings were identified as being the same fired from that gun. There's 4 video surveillance cameras that captures Caitlin Armstrong circling past his house for about an hour before the murder. They swabbed DNA from Mo Wilson's bike that there's a very strong likelihood that the DNA on the seat of the bike included DNA from Caitlin Armstrong.
Defense argues No direct witness, Colin could have done it. She ran because she was scared.
Was Caitlin in the black Jeep? Who had access to the black Jeep? Who had access to the key fob to the black Jeep? Colin claimed he saw Caitlin Armstrong come out of a black Jeep. How amazing that the one fact that he seemed to remember with greater clarity over time was the single fact that drew attention away from him and pointed the finger at Caitlin Armstrong.
One witness saw Caitlin Armstrong allegedly commit this murder. Not one, because there isn't one. You did not hear about any direct evidence showing Caitlin Armstrong is responsible for this crime, because there isn't any.
November 16th, 2023. Jury deliberates for 2 hours. Guilty of first-degree murder. Sentence, 90 years.
The defendant will please rise. The State of Texas versus Caitlin Armstrong. Verdict of the jury. We, the jury, find the defendant, Caitlin Armstrong, guilty of the offense of murder as alleged in the indictment.
Mo Wilson was 25. She was ranked one of the top gravel cyclists in the world. Her race weekend became a memorial ride. Caitlin Cash still lives with the guilt of not getting home sooner. Colin Strickland lives with the weight of what his secrets cost. And Caitlin Armstrong? She'll be eligible for parole in 45 years. The cameras captured it all. The data filled in the rest. And a woman who thought she could rewrite the story learned that timelines don't lie.
Nestled in the heart of Indiana, Delphi was the kind of town where life moved at a relaxed pace. Families had lived there for generations, neighbors knew one another by name, and crime, especially violent crime, was almost unheard of. It was a place where people felt safe, where kids could play outside without fear, and where parents never had to worry about letting their children explore the woods or walk to a friend's house alone. But on February 13th, 2017, that sense of security was forever shattered when 2 young girls,
Central case, 2 missing juveniles, Liberty Rose Lynn German, last seen at the High Bridge in Delphi, Indiana, at approximately 1300 hours. Second juvenile, Abigail Joyce Williams, subject was last seen wearing a gray zip up sweatshirt and a red shirt with a red shirt under it and jeans.
Abigail Abby Williams, 13, and Liberty Libby German, 14, set out for a hike and never returned.
On the afternoon of February 13th, 2017, Abby and Libby were dropped off at the trails that lead to the Monon High Bridge. They were supposed to be picked up by Libby's father at 3 p.m. They never turned up. The search started around 5:30.
The Monon High Bridge was an old abandoned railroad bridge that had become a popular local hangout.
And just off the trail, there's an abandoned railroad bridge, the Monon High Bridge, 63 feet above Deer Creek.
The Monon High Bridge is not that serene. It's this old, rickety bridge, or it was at the time, right? The rail ties are falling apart. It's, you could look down, take a couple steps and look down and see a 100-foot drop below you.
The bridge itself was both beautiful and dangerous, a relic from the past, stretching high over Deer Creek with missing planks and a rickety structure that made crossing it an adventure.
I mean, it was a very high bridge. The name definitely applies. I grew up watching people post on their Snapchat stories, like going to the bridge to read a book or things like that, and they'd have their feet swinging over the edge.
That afternoon, the girls were excited to explore the trail, enjoy the crisp February air, and take some photos.
I'll never forget that day, February 13th. It was around 2 p.m. I saw the picture of Abby on the bridge on their Snapchat stories, and I immediately just knew that something was wrong.
Libby's older sister, Kelsey German, was the last known person to see them alive, dropping them off near the trailhead at approximately 1:35 p.m. They were supposed to meet their ride home at 3:15 p.m. By all accounts, it was a normal, happy day until something sinister interrupted it.
A little upset, confused, obviously very distraught. Just worried. All I want to do is have the girls get home safe. Missing, abducted, we don't know for sure. There's a cell phone tower, but the ping was last noted about 5 or 6 hours ago. They say the phone's now dead.
Sometime between 2:07 p.m. and 3 p.m., something went terribly wrong.
All options are on the table. Did they run away? Did they go to a party? Did they fall off the bridge? Did they get injured? No one had any idea what had happened to them, but the official search was halted that night and picked up the next morning.
The carefree hike turned into a nightmare, and the small town of Delphi would never be the same again. One of the most haunting aspects of this case is that Libby German had the foresight to record a crucial piece of evidence before she and Abby were attacked. At 2:07 p.m., she posted a Snapchat image of Abby walking along the bridge. This would become the last known photograph of either girl alive. But it was what she did next that turned this case into one of the most chilling murder mysteries in modern history. At 2:13 p.m., Libby took out her phone and recorded a short, grainy video of a man walking toward them on the bridge. He was dressed in a navy blue jacket, blue jeans, and a cap. His hands were tucked into his pockets, and though his pace was unhurried, there was something unsettling about his posture. Then came the audio recording. Just a few words, but enough to send shivers down the spines of investigators and the public alike. "Guys, down the hill!" The tone was firm, commanding. There was no question that this was an order. What happened after those words were spoken remains unknown, but law enforcement later confirmed that the man in the video was their prime suspect. Despite having his image and voice, his identity remained a mystery for years, as if he had vanished into thin air after committing the crime. Why did Libby start recording? Did she recognize the man? Did she sense danger before he even spoke? Or had he approached them in a way that immediately set off alarm bells? These questions have never been fully answered. But her quick thinking meant that even in her final moments, she left behind a critical clue. When Abby and Libby failed to show up at their designated pickup location at 3:15 p.m., concern quickly turned into fear. The families initially assumed the girls had lost track of time or were having too much fun to notice the hour. But as the minutes turned into hours and phone calls to them went straight to voicemail, the worry escalated.
A little upset, confused, obviously very distraught. Just worried. All I want to do is have the girls get home safe. Missing, abducted, we don't know for sure. There's a cell phone tower, but the ping was last noted about 5 or 6 hours ago. They say the phone's now dead.
By early evening, family members, friends, and local volunteers began searching the trail and surrounding woods. Flashlights cut through the growing darkness as people called out the girls' names, hoping to hear a response.
Word spread quickly that help was needed, that these girls needed to be found. Hundreds of people turned out and searched through the night. Becky Patty, Libby's grandmother, would say that you could see flashlights everywhere like stars in the sky, like fireflies. It was a full town effort.
Police were alerted and an official search was launched. The entire town mobilized, with hundreds of people scouring the trails, creek beds, and remote areas near the bridge. But the searchers' worst fears were confirmed the next day. On February 14th, 2017, at approximately 12:15 p.m., 2 bodies were discovered in a wooded area about half a mile from the Monon High Bridge.
Basically, we have identified the bodies of the 2 females that were found out yesterday. Abigail J. Williams, 13, of the Delphi area, and Liberty Rose Lynn German, 14, of the Delphi area. Family has been notified. This is considered a double homicide investigation.
Though law enforcement did not immediately confirm the identities, the families were soon given the devastating news. The bodies belonged to Abby and Libby. Authorities quickly ruled the deaths as homicides, but beyond that, they remained tight-lipped. No official cause of death was released, and few details about the crime scene were made public. This secrecy only fueled speculation. Were the girls restrained? Did they suffer before they died? Some reports suggested that the bodies had been staged in a deliberate manner, possibly as part of a ritual or a message from the killer. Others claimed that eerie symbols had been found near the scene. carved into trees or left behind as a cryptic calling card. Adding to the chilling nature of the crime was the discovery of an unspent .40 caliber bullet casing near the girls' bodies, an odd and seemingly small detail that would later become a vital piece of evidence. Despite having video and audio evidence, law enforcement struggled to identify the man on the bridge. In the days following the murders, police released a composite sketch based on eyewitness accounts. The first sketch depicted an older man with a thick beard, wearing a cap and jacket. But 2 years later, in 2019, authorities released a second sketch. A much younger man with wavy hair and striking features. The contrast between the two sketches led to mass confusion. Had law enforcement changed their theory, or had they received new information that pointed them in an entirely different direction? Over the years, several potential suspects were investigated. Among them was Daniel Nations, a registered sex offender who had been arrested in Colorado for threatening hikers with a hatchet. His resemblance to the older suspect sketch made him an initial person of interest, but he was eventually ruled out. Another suspect, Charles Eldridge, was arrested for child exploitation, and his mugshot bore an eerie resemblance to the second sketch. Yet again, no solid evidence linked him to Delphi. Investigators explored numerous theories. Was this the work of an online predator, a serial killer, a local man who knew the area well? Despite thousands of tips pouring in, the case remained frustratingly cold for more than 5 years. For more than 5 years, the Delphi murders had baffled investigators. With thousands of tips pouring in, multiple suspects considered, and countless theories emerging, yet no arrests were made. The community feared the killer could still be among them.
Who may be in this room? We believe you are hiding in plain sight, and you want to know what we know. And one day, you will. A question to you. What will those closest to you think of when they find out that you brutally murdered 2 little girls? 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing.
Blending in as an ordinary citizen, watching as the investigation continued to swirl around him. Then on October 28, 2022, in a stunning development, Indiana State Police announced the arrest of 50-year-old Richard Allen.
Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation.
A local resident who had been living in Delphi the entire time, hiding in plain sight. The revelation was as shocking as it was disturbing.
We expected to be excited and happy and overjoyed that he's arrested, but now we're dealing with understanding that there's a lot of reopening wounds that's coming with that.
Unlike many of the suspects considered over the years, men with criminal histories, connections to violent crimes, or disturbing behavioral patterns, Richard Allen was an unassuming, well-liked member of the community.
I was surprised because he seemed like a real nice guy and everything, waiting on us in the drive-thru and everything.
He worked at the local CVS pharmacy, where he often interacted with customers.
Richard Matthew Allen was 50 years old, had no criminal history, and worked as a farm tech over at the local CVS in Delphi.
Including the very families who had been mourning the loss of Abby and Libby.
I had not interacted with him, but everyone knew who he was. I mean, he worked there for so long. And when I found out who it was, I never in a million years thought that it would have been him. Not someone so integral to the community and to the Delphi experience.
He even developed photos for the German and Williams families after the murders, a detail that would later send chills through those who realized just how close they had been to the man allegedly responsible. For years, he had never been on law enforcement's radar in any significant way, despite the fact that he lived just a few miles from the crime scene and had even spoken to investigators early in the case. According to police records, Allen voluntarily told authorities back in 2017 that he had been on the Monon High Bridge Trail on the day of the murders. At the time, however, this admission didn't seem suspicious. He was just another local who had been near the area. It wasn't until years later that investigators took a second look at his statement and matched it with new forensic evidence. The key breakthrough in identifying Allen came from forensic analysis of a .40 caliber unspent bullet casing found at the crime scene, near the bodies of Abby and Libby. While this casing had been known to investigators for years, advancements in forensic ballistics allowed them to link it directly to a gun owned by Richard Allen. When investigators conducted a search of Allen's home in October 2022, they recovered a Sig Sauer Model P2 26.40 caliber handgun, which was later confirmed through forensic testing to have ejected the casing found at the crime scene. Ballistics experts explained that even though the bullet itself hadn't been fired, when a round is chambered and then removed from a gun, unique markings are left on the casing. When Allen's gun was tested, the markings on the bullet casing left at the crime scene were an exact match, a damning piece of evidence that placed him directly at the scene of the crime. Adding to the evidence against him was the fact that Allen had no reasonable explanation for how a bullet from his gun ended up near the victims. In police interviews, he admitted that the gun was his and that he had owned it since 2001, long before the murders.
Of your house, we find a gun, your gun. You own that gun, right?
I do.
When did you buy it?
Oh my gosh. I don't even remember.
2001. I'll check for you. I know a lot of the answers to the question I'm going to ask you, but I'm just trying to give you the opportunity to be honest. That's why I asked the question. So you bought it in 2001 in Peru.
Okay.
But when pressed, he denied any involvement in the crime and could not explain why an unspent casing from his firearm was present at the location where Abby and Libby were killed.
And I asked you, have you ever loaned anything out? I gave you scenarios. No. So that's your gun. Either you had that gun or somebody had that gun. There's no way that round gets on that property where these two girls were killed without that gun being there. And you're there, your car's there, witnesses say
there is no way a round from my gun was anywhere near the girls, the bridge. It just didn't happen.
Beyond the ballistics evidence, investigators began to take a closer look at Allen's 2017 police interview, where he had originally stated that he had been at the trail on the day of the murders, but had not seen the girls.
It could have been a little before noon or a little afternoon. Walked down, back an hour, so probably 1:30, 1:45, depending on exactly what time it was that I got there that day. I just remember walking down the trail, and I had told him that when I was approaching the trailhead, I guess is what I'd call it, there was 3 girls walking off the trail, and I just remember it looking like one of them was probably watching, babysitting, but watching the other 2 because they looked a little younger, and they looked very similar. I don't know if they were sisters or whatever, but the other one didn't necessarily. But I remember seeing them walking off the trailhead, and I didn't really see anybody.
At the time, there was nothing inherently suspicious about this. Many people had been in the area that day, and Allen had voluntarily come forward to share his whereabouts. But after the bullet casing match, his own statement placed him at the scene of the crime, reinforcing the belief that he had been lying about his level of involvement.
Well, this doesn't just go away.
I know.
Exactly.
The only person I think can explain all this is you, and you're not explaining it to me.
I don't know what it is you want me to explain.
What were you doing on the bridge? How did your round get there? And why did you kill these 2 girls? Or why were you involved in this? What was your involvement?
I had no involvement.
I don't think, listen, Rick, I don't think you're the one that killed them. I don't think you're the one that stuck the knife in them. Are you?
I didn't.
Are you that guy?
Really?
Are you? I'm asking you.
Anybody that knows me knows I could never, even if I wanted to do something like that. That's not who I am.
Then what happened?
I can't tell you. How do you expect me to tell you? You want me to make up a story and...
No, the truth. The truth is simple. You don't have to make that up. You just go back and tell me the truth. You can't
I've
tell me that this event has not been weighing on you for years and years and years. You're out there.
I've told you that. I don't know what you want me to do at this point.
Following his arrest, disturbing details about Richard Allen began to emerge. Though he had lived a seemingly normal life with a wife and a steady job, investigators began uncovering indications that he may have been leading a double life. Neighbors and acquaintances recalled that his behavior had changed after the murders. Some described him as becoming more withdrawn, while others noted that he had continued going about his daily life as though nothing had happened. An eerie thought, given that he had likely been watching news reports and seeing the sketches of a suspect that looked very much like him. Even more disturbing was the revelation that Allen had allegedly posed as a law enforcement officer at one point, and some witnesses claimed he had exhibited controlling or intimidating behavior. While these allegations are still being investigated, they add to the growing theory that he may not have been as ordinary as he appeared. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of Allen's arrest was the suggestion that he may not have acted alone. Some court documents suggest that the crime scene had a ritualistic or symbolic element, with eerie markings found near the bodies. There have been unconfirmed reports that strange symbols were found carved into nearby trees, and some investigators have speculated that the crime may have been part of a larger, more sinister plot. One of the most widely discussed theories is the possibility that the Delphi murders were linked to a larger online predator network. In the years following the killings, investigators uncovered a disturbing pattern of online catfishing accounts targeting young girls in the area. In particular, a man named Keegan Klein, a known child predator, was found to have been communicating with Libby German through a fake social media profile under the name Anthony Shots.
Friends on social media with the Anthony Shots profile, and that he at least liked or commented on some of her posts. Keegan Klein from Peru, Indiana, about 40 minutes away, admitted he created that fake profile, and I spoke to him from jail.
Klein was arrested in 2020 on multiple counts of child exploitation and possession of child pornography.
Are you aware whether you may have talked to Libby on the 13th?
That's what they said. That's what the police told me.
That you did?
Yeah.
And do you have any recollection of that?
No, not at all.
Did you have anything to do with the murders of Abby or Libby?
Not at all. And I gave up my DNA, a hair follicle test. I've done everything they wanted me to.
While police have never directly linked Klein to Allen, some theorists believe the possibility of an online grooming connection cannot be ruled out. Did Allen know Klein? Was he part of a larger network of predators? Was the meeting between Allen and the girls premeditated, or was it a crime of opportunity? These questions remain unanswered. Richard Allen remains in custody, facing 2 counts of murder. His trial is expected to be one of the most closely watched legal proceedings in recent history, as the public and the families of Abby and Libby seek long-awaited justice. However, there is still significant mystery surrounding the case. Law enforcement has hinted at the possibility of more arrests in the future, leading to speculation that Allen was not the only person involved. For the people of Delphi, the arrest of Richard Allen provided some relief but not full closure. Until every detail is brought to light and every person involved is held accountable, the town remains haunted by the tragedy that stole 2 young lives and forever changed their sense of safety. The biggest question still remains: was Richard Allen truly the only killer, or is there someone else out there who still holds the final, terrifying truth? Richard Allen remains in custody, awaiting trial on 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of Abigail Abby Williams and Liberty Libby German. The upcoming court proceedings are expected to provide long-awaited answers, but they may also raise even more troubling questions about what truly happened on February 13, 2017. For the past 7 years, law enforcement has kept many details of the case under tight wraps, leading to intense speculation and frustration among the public. Even after Allen's arrest, investigators have continued to remain cautious about releasing certain evidence, fueling theories that the case is far more complex than it initially seemed. Was Richard Allen truly the sole perpetrator, or could there be others involved who have yet to be identified? Did he plan the attack in advance, or was it a crime of opportunity? If Allen acted alone, why did the crime scene reportedly contain unusual elements, including the possible staging of the victims' bodies? Could there be someone else out there, still free, who knows the full, horrifying truth? The small town of Delphi, once known for its friendly community and scenic trails, has become synonymous with one of the most chilling murder mysteries in modern American history. Before that fateful day, Delphi was the kind of place where doors were left unlocked, children rode their bikes without fear, and families gathered at the local park without a second thought. Now it is a town burdened by grief, suspicion, and a lingering sense of unease. For more than 5 years, the identity of the man on the bridge, captured in the infamous Snapchat video, was unknown. Delphi residents feared that he could be living among them, blending into the community, hiding in plain sight. The eventual arrest of Richard Allen only deepened that fear, as many realized they had interacted with him regularly at the local CVS pharmacy.
People who have talked to who shopped at the CVS and dealt with Richard Allen described him as friendly. In fact, after the murders, Libby's aunt went in there to have some pictures printed for Libby's memorial. She said Richard Allen helped her, and at the time, she thought he was helpful and kind.
Parents who once trusted their neighbors now found themselves questioning who else in their town might be capable of such horror. Even with a suspect in custody, Delphi has not found true peace. The unanswered questions surrounding the case continue to weigh heavily on the community. Until every detail is brought to light and every individual responsible is held accountable, the town will remain haunted by the darkness that descended upon it in 2017. One of the most chilling aspects of this case is the persistent belief that Richard Allen may not have acted alone. Law enforcement has not ruled out the possibility of additional arrests, and unsealed court documents have hinted at disturbing details that suggest a broader conspiracy. The crime scene, according to some leaked reports, allegedly displayed ritualistic elements. Some sources claim that symbols were found near the bodies, possibly carved into trees or left as some kind of cryptic message. If true, this raises terrifying questions. Was this crime part of a larger, more sinister plan? Adding to the mystery is the connection to Keegan Kline, the Indiana man behind the Anthony Shots catfishing account that had communicated with Libby German before her murder. Kline, a known child predator, was arrested in 2020 on charges unrelated to the Delphi case, but investigators have questioned him extensively about his potential involvement. Phone records show that Kline's device was used to contact Libby in the days leading up to her death. Some evidence even suggests that someone using Kline's account may have attempted to lure her to the Monon High Bridge. Could Richard Allen have been the person Kline was communicating with? Was the meeting between Allen and the girls premeditated? Did Kline or others know about the attack before it happened?
We learn that the evidence shows that Abby and Libby are dropped off at the trails at 1:49 p.m. And we already knew that Libby's video recording that man on the bridge happened at 2:13, just 24 minutes later.
Law enforcement has remained tight-lipped on whether there is a direct link between Kline and Allen, but many believe that this connection could hold the key to unlocking the full truth. If more people were involved, were they part of an underground predator network? Did Abby and Libby unknowingly stumble into a situation far more dangerous than anyone could have imagined? The upcoming trial will be one of the most closely watched in recent history as prosecutors prepare to lay out the full case against Richard Allen. For years, the public has been left in the dark about crucial details, but in the courtroom, forensic evidence, witness testimony, and potentially shocking new revelations may finally shed light on what truly happened on that tragic day.
Probable cause reveals at least 4 witnesses. 3 teenage girls and 1 adult woman saw someone generally matching the description of the person in Libby's video between 1:26 p.m. and 2:13 p.m., the time that Abby and Libby were encountering that man on the bridge.
Those witnesses is seen on surveillance video arriving around 1:46 p.m. And she says she parked her car and then walked out to the bridge where she saw a man standing on the bridge about 50 feet away. She didn't walk onto the bridge. She turned around and walked back in the direction she came. And when she did that, she passed 2 young girls who were walking towards the bridge. And she believes that was Abby and Libby.
Was driving north of the trails that day, and about 2 hours after the abduction, she saw a man in a blue jacket walking in the opposite direction, quote, muddy and bloody.
One of the most pressing questions is whether Allen lured the girls to the Monon High Bridge or if the encounter was purely coincidental. Investigators have long suspected that the crime scene was staged in some manner, raising disturbing questions about the killer's motive and whether there were deeper, more sinister elements at play. The unspent bullet casing found near the bodies, directly linked to Allen's firearm, remains one of the most damning pieces of evidence against him.
The most damaging piece of evidence that the state of Indiana has against Richard Allen is the unspent round that cycled through his gun, found just 2 feet away from Libby German. He's either the unluckiest guy in the world, or he was there at the scene when those 2 girls were murdered.
But how it ended up there and what role it played in the crime will likely be examined in court. Another major focus of the trial will be whether Allen had any connection to Keegan Kline and the infamous Anthony Schatz catfishing account, which had been used to communicate with Libby in the days leading up to the murders. Investigators have remained tight-lipped about whether this link is significant, but if evidence suggests that Allen and Kline were connected, it could point to a much larger and more complex crime than previously thought. The possibility of additional suspects remains an unsettling factor in the case, with law enforcement refusing to rule out further arrests. If new evidence emerges that others were involved, the trial could take a shocking turn, unraveling a conspiracy far beyond what anyone initially imagined. For the families of Abby and Libby, the trial represents a long overdue moment of reckoning. They have fought tirelessly for justice, enduring years of uncertainty, false leads, and agonizing silence. A conviction would finally bring a sense of accountability, ensuring that at least one person responsible for their daughter's deaths is held to answer for the horrific crime. However, the lingering possibility that other perpetrators remain at large means that even a guilty verdict may not be the final chapter in this case. The truth behind what happened on the bridge that day is still not fully known, and as the trial unfolds, the world will be watching, waiting for the full story to finally come to light. For the families of Abby and Libby, the pain of losing their daughters has been compounded by the long and agonizing search for answers. Kelsey German, Libby's older sister, has been one of the most vocal advocates for justice.
She was so smart. I think that video and audio definitely keeps people's attention. I think that helps us a lot. I think people see it and they're like, oh my gosh, this 14-year-old girl thought about taking a video of this, and we have this video and we have this audio and we don't have answers. That's crazy. I'm feeling like no answers are coming, and I'm feeling defeated. I say that. I say today is the day, it's coming. It'll get here. We're going to have answers, and just reaffirm myself and say, you know, it's hard, it's frustrating, it's been 5 years, but we're going to have answers eventually, and it's coming.
Tirelessly keeping the case in the public eye. She, along with the families of both victims, has fought to ensure that the investigation remains a priority and that their loved ones are never forgotten. The people of Delphi, too, have endured years of uncertainty and fear. Many residents participated in searches, donated to reward funds, and helped spread awareness about the case. Their town, once a quiet and unassuming place, has become a symbol of both tragedy and resilience. Even now, as the trial approaches, there is an unshakable feeling that this case is not yet over. Until every responsible party is identified and held accountable, true closure will remain out of reach. The haunting image of the man on the bridge, captured forever in Libby's video, has loomed over this case since the beginning. Soon the world may finally learn whether Richard Allen was indeed that man, or if there is an even more sinister truth lurking beneath the surface. Until then, Delphi waits. The families wait. The truth remains just beyond reach. But one thing is certain, Abby and Libby will never be forgotten, and justice must come, no matter how long it takes. The arrest of Richard Allen marked a turning point in a case that had haunted the small town of Delphi for over 5 years. But even with a suspect in custody, many questions remain unanswered. What exactly happened on that bridge in February 2017? Was Allen truly the only one responsible, or did others play a role in the horrific crime? Is there more evidence yet to be uncovered that could provide the full, horrifying picture of what happened to Abby and Libby in their final moments? For the families of the victims, justice is long overdue. They have fought tirelessly to keep the case in the public eye, ensuring that Abby and Libby are never forgotten. But closure still feels distant. Until every detail is exposed in court and every individual responsible is held accountable, Delphi will remain a town burdened by its darkest day. The once quiet and peaceful community now carries a legacy of tragedy, one that has forever altered the way its residents see their home. As the trial approaches, the world will be watching. The truth behind the Delphi murders will soon come to light, and with it, the hope that justice will finally be served. But for now, the biggest question still lingers. Did law enforcement catch the only monster involved, or is there someone else still out there, holding the final, terrifying secret of what really happened to Abby and Libby? If you found this deep dive into the Delphi murders case insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime investigations, theories, and updates. Your support helps keep these cases alive and ensures that the voices of the victims are never forgotten. Let's continue the conversation in the comments. What do you think really happened that day? Could there be more suspects involved? Let us know your thoughts below.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car right now! Let me see your hands! Walk to me! Where is he? Where is he? Walk back to me! Walk back to me now! I got the female coming back to me right now. There's probably one outstanding in the car. Come back to me. Let me see your hands. Come back. Where is he?
He went that way.
What is he? Is he in the car?
No, he went that way.
Come here. Get down. Get down. Let me check you.
Okay.
Get in the car.
Okay.
Get in the car. Get in the car. Let me see. I need to check you. I need to check you for weapons.
Okay.
Where's he at? Who is it?
His name is Mark. He's my boyfriend.
Does he have any weapons?
Yes, he does.
What does he have?
He has a gun.
Where is he at?
He
ran?
Yes, he did.
The sun rose over the vast New Mexico desert, casting long shadows over the quiet highways outside Santa Fe. It was a seemingly normal morning until the silence was shattered by the blaring of sirens and the roar of engines. A white Chevy Malibu was speeding recklessly down the interstate, pursued by multiple police cruisers. Officers, desperate to stop the vehicle, were unaware that within minutes, 2 lives would be lost, another permanently changed, and an entire town left in shock. The driver, a woman in distress, was allegedly being held hostage by a dangerous man. She had begged a witness to call 911, claiming her kidnapper was armed and threatening to kill her.
Lady out in my parking lot here at the Vizcaya Apartments, she asked me to call the police. Somebody's in her car, won't get out. She says he has a knife held on her. She's now leaving. She's in a white Malibu.
Police responded immediately, believing they were in a race against time to save her life. But what followed was something far more sinister than anyone could have expected. As the chase escalated into chaos, a fatal collision left a veteran police officer and a retired firefighter dead on impact. The wreckage stretched across the highway, the result of one of the most reckless pursuits in Santa Fe's history. Yet when the dust settled, something wasn't right. The story the woman told about her violent abduction, the armed man, the threats on her life began to fall apart.
And how was his, with the hand, with the weapon? He punched me. He was punching me with his fist. He was. So it was a closed fist like this? Okay. And I was trying to put my head down so he could stop hitting me. And I seen him, he had the knife in his hand and everything, but it was like closed. But I seen it. So when you say closed, was it a folding knife? Yeah? And then the blade was closed. Yeah. But he was still holding it against your neck and your chest. Yeah, and he was telling me that I'm not going to leave and he was going to kill me.
The supposed kidnapper she accused didn't even know who she was. Police, initially determined to track down a dangerous fugitive, instead found themselves questioning if the real criminal had been in their custody the whole time. This is the true story of deception, destruction, and a desperate escape gone terribly wrong.
Police spotted the car minutes later. The suspect led police on a chase down I-25 going the wrong way. That chase led to a deadly crash involving at least 4 cars. A Santa Fe police officer died in the crash, along with the driver who was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
A case that began with a rescue mission, but ended with a web of lies unraveled. And at the center of it all?
Armed with a knife and was taking a vehicle occupied by a woman. We're still working on his involvement and the totality of the investigation. We do plan to release his information once we get everything locked down and his identity.
A woman who had played the victim before, but this time, the consequences were deadly. Janine Yarrow was no stranger to law enforcement. Her criminal record stretched back to 2005 when she was first arrested for shoplifting. What began as small-scale thefts soon escalated into a pattern of more serious offenses, each one revealing a reckless disregard for the law. Over the years, her rap sheet grew to include auto theft, resisting arrest, assaulting an officer, and handling stolen property. Despite multiple encounters with the justice system, Janine managed to evade long-term consequences, often receiving probation, reduced sentences, or having cases dismissed due to lack of witnesses. By 2013, Janine had shifted from petty crimes to high-risk offenses. She was arrested for stealing vehicles, a crime that carried harsher penalties than shoplifting. In 2014, she was caught breaking into cars but avoided serious punishment when the case was dismissed. The pattern repeated itself multiple times. She would commit a crime, get caught, tell an elaborate story, and somehow avoid major jail time. Law enforcement officials saw her as a career criminal, someone who had learned how to manipulate the system to her advantage. But what made Janine Yarrow especially dangerous wasn't just her willingness to steal and run from the police, it was her habit of lying to cover up her crimes. In 2 separate incidents in 2021, she had fled from law enforcement in stolen vehicles, crashed, and then claimed she had been kidnapped. She told police on both occasions that she had been forced to drive against her will, hoping to shift the blame onto a non-existent assailant. Investigators later discovered that her so-called kidnapper didn't exist, and the crimes had been entirely her doing. Her repeated ability to escape punishment only seemed to embolden her. She had no fear of consequences, believing that she could talk her way out of anything. In her mind, the more dramatic the lie, the more believable it would be. But in March of 2022, her biggest lie yet would result in a devastating tragedy, one that no fabricated story could ever erase. On the morning of the chase, Janine Yarrow was seen in a Santa Fe apartment complex where a resident, Richard Muser, witnessed her pleading for help. She told him that a man, her boyfriend, Mark Lopez, was holding her hostage in a white Chevy Malibu. According to Yarrow, Lopez was armed with a knife and a gun, threatening to kill her. Muser, alarmed by the scene, immediately called 911.
Lady out in my parking lot here at the Vizcaya Apartments. She asked me to call the police. Somebody's in her car, won't get out. She says he has a knife held on her. She's now leaving. She's in a white Malibu.
Within minutes, Officer Romo located the white Malibu, but when he tried to stop it, the driver refused to comply. Instead of pulling over, the car sped off, leading officers on a dangerous high-speed pursuit through Santa Fe. The situation escalated dramatically when the Malibu crossed into oncoming traffic on Interstate 25, endangering dozens of lives. Vehicles swerved, trying to avoid a collision, but Officer Robert Duran and retired firefighter Frank Lovato were not so lucky. At nearly 90 miles per hour, Duran's police cruiser collided head-on with Lovato's truck, killing both men instantly.
We believe Jaramillo led officers on a chase, driving the suspect car and causing the fatal crash that killed Officer Duran and Mr. Lovato.
The impact was so severe that Duran's vehicle was nearly disintegrated.
On I-25, coming from El Dorado, there was a head-on. There's 4 cars involved. Well, I know they're dead.
As chaos unfolded, Officer Montano crashed into another civilian car, permanently injuring a woman named Alexis Jenkins.
Are you okay? I mean, I know you were involved in the crash, but is there any sort of like entrapment or anything like that?
Yeah, 286 is entrapped in his vehicle right now.
286 is entrapped?
Yes.
Okay, are you out of your vehicle?
I just got out of my vehicle now.
Meanwhile, the white Malibu continued its escape attempt, colliding with yet another truck before finally coming to a halt. Officers immediately surrounded the wreckage, expecting to find an armed and dangerous fugitive inside. But instead, a terrified woman emerged, screaming for help. Janine Yarrow collapsed into the arms of police officers, claiming she had barely survived a kidnapping attempt.
Get out of the car right now! Let me see your hands! Walk to me! Where is he? Where is he? Walk back to me! Walk back to me now!
I got the female coming back to me right now. There's probably one outstanding in the car. Come back to me. Let me see your hands. Come back. Where is he?
He went that way!
What is he? Is he in the car?
No, he went that way!
Come here. Get down. Get down. Let me check you. Get in the car.
Okay. Oh, God, help me.
Get in the car. Get in the car. Let me see. I need to check you. I need to check you for weapons.
Okay.
Where's he at? Who is it?
His name is Mark. He's my boyfriend.
Does he have any weapons?
Yes, he does.
What does he have?
He has a gun.
Where is he at?
He
ran?
Yes, he did.
Okay, stand by. So I have the victim right now in the back of my car. She's saying it's her boyfriend, unknown on the name yet. He's got 1080 with a gun, went into these bushes right here.
Okay, let's get some clarification on exactly where we're at, and we need to establish a perimeter on that, please.
Okay, what is his name?
His name is Mark.
Mark what?
Lopez.
Okay. Where, he ran off or what?
Yes, he did.
Are you sure he's not in the vehicle?
I'm sure, sir.
You're positive?
I'm positive, sir. He hit me and he ran.
Okay. We need to clear this vehicle as well. I don't know if there's anybody else in here.
He was gonna burn me.
Did he stab you at all? Did he hurt you at all?
I don't know.
Okay, what kind of gun does he have?
He had a knife to me too.
He has a gun or no?
A gun and a knife.
Okay. What's his last name?
Lopez.
Lopez? What's his date of birth?
I'm not too sure because I haven't been going out with him very long.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. He went this way or what?
I don't know.
Somebody trying to get it.
He hit me.
Okay, any units that are coming up, what I want you guys to do is start diverting I-25 bound, I-25 northbound traffic off on the highway.
When did he get out of the car? Were you driving?
No.
I know it's take a breath. We're trying to help you get information.
I was not driving. He got out.
He was driving?
He said that he was gonna kill me and light me on fire. There's gas in the car.
Mark Lopez?
Yes. Tell him be careful. There's gas in there.
Okay, so the victim is saying that the suspect is a Mark Lopez, no date of birth. Apparently there's gas and fire in the car. I didn't see anybody exit besides her, so he may still be in the vehicle. Okay, stay in the car, okay?
Okay.
Keep your head down. He has a gun.
She insisted that her boyfriend, Mark Lopez, had escaped into the desert and was armed and dangerous. Officers launched an immediate manhunt, believing they were searching for a violent criminal who had just caused the deaths of 2 men. But as police began checking records, something wasn't right. When they searched for Mark Lopez, they discovered that he had been at work all day, with multiple alibis and surveillance footage proving his whereabouts. Even more baffling, Lopez had never met Janine Yarrow in his life.
I feel very violated. And my character, my job, just everybody in my professional, my friends. This is very, very embarrassing.
The woman they had rushed to save was suddenly becoming the prime suspect. Further investigation revealed no evidence of gasoline on Yarrow or inside the Malibu, contradicting her claim that her captor had tried to set her on fire.
He woke me up in this so terrible, terrible, terrible way. Pouring some gas on me. I smelled it and then I felt like the cold. When my clothes and everything, he told me it was gonna burn me.
Okay.
She said he was gonna set me on fire and I was gonna die. But he was gonna kill me.
The knife and gun she said he had were never found.
I seen him, he had the knife in his hand and everything, but it was like closed. But I seen it.
So when you say closed, was it a folding knife? Yeah? And then the blade was closed.
Yeah.
But he was still holding it against your neck and your chest.
Yeah, and he was telling me that I'm not gonna leave and he was gonna kill me.
And then came the most damning evidence. Witnesses who saw the Malibu at the beginning of the chase confirmed that Janine Yarrow herself had been the driver the entire time. It was becoming painfully clear that there had never been a kidnapping. Janine Yarrow had simply stolen a car, fled police, and fabricated a lie to avoid getting caught. But this time, her deception had cost lives. As the investigation unfolded, the evidence against Janine Yarrow became undeniable. Every aspect of her story began to fall apart under scrutiny. The so-called kidnapper, Mark Lopez, was proven to be entirely uninvolved, with a solid alibi backed by security footage, phone records, and multiple witnesses. There was no physical evidence to support her claim that she had been doused in gasoline, nor was there any sign of the weapons she insisted her abductor had used to threaten her. The final and most damning piece of evidence came from eyewitness accounts and police reports that confirmed what detectives had already begun to suspect. Janine Yarrow had been the driver of the white Chevy Malibu all along. With her web of lies collapsing, authorities had no choice but to place Janine Yarrow under arrest. She was charged with vehicular homicide for the deaths of Officer Robert Duran and retired firefighter Frank Lovato, as well as reckless driving, causing serious injury for the crash that left Alexis Jenkins permanently disabled. Additionally, she faced charges of auto theft, as the Chevy Malibu had been reported stolen, and false reporting, as her entire story about being kidnapped was fabricated from the start. Even as she was taken into custody, Janine refused to admit the truth. She continued to insist that she had been a victim, repeating her story with unwavering conviction, despite the overwhelming proof that she had orchestrated the entire event. Detectives confronted her with the evidence, yet she remained defiant, attempting to twist the narrative to her advantage. However, this time, her usual strategy of deception would not work. Unlike in her past run-ins with the law, there was no technicality to save her, no missing witness to make the case disappear, and no sympathy left to exploit. This time, Janine Yarrow's lies had gone too far, resulting in real deaths, real suffering, and irreversible destruction. The justice system was no longer willing to grant her the second chances she had so often manipulated. She was officially booked into jail, awaiting trial for the most serious crimes of her life. Janine Yarrow's trial became one of the most closely watched cases in Santa Fe's history, not just because of the tragic loss of life, but because of the shocking nature of her deception.
And after you've been found out, what do you say?
I'm not a murderer. I am not. I'm not a murderer.
Stop talking.
You have taken the life of two outstanding members of our community, a police officer and a retired emergency responder. And you did so in the most egregious, deplorable way. Their families, friends, and fellow officers' lives have been changed forever.
What had initially been believed to be a desperate escape from a violent kidnapper had instead been an elaborate and reckless lie, one that resulted in two innocent people losing their lives and a third suffering permanent injuries. Prosecutors were determined to ensure that this time, Yarrow would face the full weight of justice. As the trial began, the courtroom was filled with emotion. On one side sat the families of Officer Robert Duran and retired firefighter Frank Lovato, still grieving the senseless loss of their loved ones. On the other side sat Janine Yarrow, the woman responsible for their deaths, still refusing to take accountability. The prosecution wasted no time painting a clear picture of what had happened. This was not an unfortunate accident, nor was Yarrow a helpless victim. Instead, she was a career criminal who had spent years manipulating the system, and this time, her recklessness had claimed lives. The evidence against her was overwhelming. Surveillance footage and witness testimonies confirmed that Janine was the driver of the white Chevy Malibu. Phone records and work logs proved that Mark Lopez, the man she had blamed, wasn't even near the scene. The crash reconstruction experts detailed the severity of the high-speed impact, explaining how Yarrow's reckless driving led directly to the deaths of Officer Duran and Frank Lovato. Medical professionals testified about the severe and life-altering injuries suffered by Alexis Jenkins, emphasizing how Yarrow's decisions had destroyed multiple lives in mere moments. Despite the mountain of irrefutable evidence, Yarrow pleaded not guilty and stuck to her fabricated story, claiming that she had been a victim of kidnapping and had no control over what had happened. But her cold and emotionless demeanor in court only made things worse for her. Prosecutors highlighted her lack of remorse, pointing out that she had never expressed sympathy for the lives lost and had only tried to save herself. The defense attempted to argue that Yarrow had suffered trauma and may have been mentally unstable, but the prosecution countered with her long history of criminal activity, particularly her previous fake kidnapping claims. The jury, hearing about her repeated lies to avoid punishment, saw through her act. It took them only a few hours of deliberation to reach a unanimous guilty verdict on all charges.
With respect to count 1, first-degree murder, Frank Lovato, I'm sentencing you to life imprisonment. With respect to count 2, first-degree murder, Robert Duran, I'm sentencing you to life imprisonment.
When the verdict was read aloud, the families of the victims broke down in tears, finally receiving the justice they had been waiting for. The judge, in his sentencing remarks, did not hold back. He called Janine Yarrow's actions selfish, manipulative, and completely devoid of regard for human life. He condemned her history of deception and made it clear that she would never again have the opportunity to harm another innocent person. Janine Yarrow was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For the first time in her long history of avoiding consequences, there was no escape, no loophole, and no more lies to tell. The courtroom, though still filled with grief, finally saw justice served for the lives that had been taken. Janine Yarrow had spent nearly 2 decades manipulating the system, escaping serious consequences through a web of deception and fabricated victimhood. But in the end, her own lies had sealed her fate. What started as yet another reckless attempt to flee police ended in devastation, death, and a life sentence. Unlike the times before, where technicalities or sympathetic leniency had allowed her to walk free, this time there were real lives lost, real families shattered, and undeniable proof of her guilt.
I'm sorry. To the family, with all my heart. If I could take back that day, I would. I made bad choices. I was on drugs and I was drinking, but I also have my family that I'm hurting. Putting me away many years is not going to bring them back. God knows. I deserve a second chance, Your Honor, please. For my family and myself, I would never do that. I would never cause harm. I'm sorry.
The justice system had finally caught up with her, and there would be no more second chances. For the families of Officer Robert Duran and retired firefighter Frank Lovato, the trial had brought some closure, but the pain of losing their loved ones would never fully heal. Duran, a dedicated police officer, had given his life in the line of duty, trying to stop what he believed was a kidnapping in progress. Lovato, a firefighter who had spent his career saving lives, was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. The tragedy of their deaths was amplified by the fact that it never needed to happen in the first place. If not for Janine Yarrow's selfishness and recklessness, both men would still be alive today.
My brother died trying to save her life. Her sorry but not sorry letter, it was also very hurtful and upsetting to hear the details of her accounts when my brother gave the ultimate sacrifice. 2 beautiful lives were lost, 2 families that will never be the same.
Alexis Jenkins, the civilian who had been severely injured in the pursuit, would never fully recover. The crash had left her with permanent injuries, altering the course of her life forever. She had been a bystander, an innocent driver on the highway, completely unaware that she was about to become collateral damage in one woman's desperate attempt to escape accountability. No matter what sentence Janine Yarrow received, it could never undo the irreversible damage she had caused. This case serves as a chilling reminder of how a single lie can spiral out of control, leading to unimaginable consequences. Janine Yarrow thought she could lie her way out of trouble like she had so many times before. But this time, the cost was far too great. The legal system had given her chance after chance. But instead of learning from her past mistakes, she pushed her luck until it ran out. Now she will spend the rest of her life behind bars with no possibility of parole, left to sit alone with the weight of the destruction she caused. The days of manipulating the truth, evading justice, and creating false narratives are over. In the end, the one thing she could never escape was the truth itself, and the truth had finally caught up with her.